try it again with Ladley. Ladley with the lay off the Georgievich shot, and a goal!
Are you ready now? Turn it up. Are you ready for this? Oh, I see my name under big lights. It sure looks good to me. I'm coming up now. I'm ready for the big time.
Maybe a chance for Ramirez at the buzzer. He scores just before the horn. Memphis is going to take this one in shocking fashion.
Are you ready for this?
Hello, everyone, and welcome inside the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi, as we get set for NISL soccer this afternoon as the Fayetteville Fury comes to town to face the Memphis Americans. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Tim Van Horn. Last home weekend for the Memphis Americans, NISL making their way toward the playoffs. A battle today between the Americans sitting in second. Fayetteville, a team last year that were league champs, now falling to the cellar this season. They'll look for some momentum. They're trying to grab a playoff spot.
Yeah, they are. They're coming in. They're going to want to try to at least salvage a split out of this over the weekend. For the Memphis Americans, it is more of the same. They've got to keep on keeping on. Plus, they're going to want to stay as healthy as they can heading into the playoffs, because the last thing that you want is to lose any of your travel squad. The Memphis Americans, the men and the women, travel as well as anybody in the league, and when it comes to playing 2-3 games over a short period of time, you got to have the best of the best ready to go.
Memphis comes in at 6-5-0 so far this year, as Fayetteville sits at 4-10-0 on the season. And so again, Memphis trying to track down first place, maybe a little bit out of their reach, but they definitely want to take that momentum going into the playoffs. Meanwhile, Fayetteville, as we mentioned, trying to battle for a playoff spot, then a chance for them to defend their crown.
Absolutely. And do I see – I'm looking over at the Memphis Americans bench. Do I see who I think I see in a field player's jersey?
Well, it'll be the first time that we can recollect. Peter Sliwa, one of the two keepers for Memphis, will play in the field. So Matthew Klink gets the start, and there is also some rumor you could, before the end of the regular season or playoff season, Klink get out in the field. Apparently they've shown Corey Adams some things during some practice scrimmages.
And that's it. That's critical because, again, this goes back to travel. During the season, if your goalkeepers can get a good touch and can play more than one position, they may be called on in a pinch late in a playoff game, so that's critical. Now I see that Sliwa has now taken that jersey off, and now he's, I don't know if that's an undershirt or the other keeper's jersey on, but for a moment he had the number 6 jersey on. We'll see if maybe that comes back up later today.
Here's a little no-look pass, and a one-timer is in for Corey Adamson, and quickly Memphis grabs the lead less than a minute into the game, 50 seconds into the first period, and Memphis with a 1-0 advantage.
That was a terrific team goal. You see Galizzi across the box and just an easy tap in, a redirect from Corey Adamson. Goalkeeper, no chance there. He was left with the back door wide open. Corey Adamson does what he does, and that is take advantage of that. Memphis out to a 1-0 lead. Great start here at the Landers Center.
and has time to give a fan an autograph once he gets over there on the bench. The head coach and player for the Americans. His 12th goal of the season. That will glance off the fingertips of Klink. And Corey Adamson's trying to change his game a little bit this year. Of course, Georgievich still your big goal scorer at 22 goals, but Adamson, the second leading goal scorer for the Americans last year, much more of a director, led the team in assists. He's getting in a little bit more of the scoring action this season.
And I think some of that is from the guy that fed him the assist. That's Max Galizzi, because Galizzi has popped in a few goals, and some of that burden has been taken off of Adamson to do what he does, and that's to run the offense from the point. So it's a great observation. That, it is an embarrassment of riches at times for the Americans.
That one is deflected. Ball still alive. Fayetteville on the Road Oranges, and Memphis wearing their reds here this afternoon. As Bogus tries to break that one up for Memphis. He'll get titled on the boards with Hensley. Now Memphis will spread things out. They'll get their shape and set things up. A little 2-3 defensive setup here for Fayetteville as Memphis will rotate back out. Klink could go long distance. Memphis has a 3-on-2, quickly developing, but that shot is going to sail just high.
And that was all unlocked by Matt Klink as he was able to cross the yellow line, which took away the three-line pass, and once he broke that line, the pass was good, but what was even better was the way that the carom was able to be played by Memphis to set up another opportunity. So Memphis on the front foot here in the first couple of minutes.
Well, a goal 50 seconds into the contest. Memphis an early 1-0 advantage here. Memphis trying to grab a counter. It's going to be Georgievich to the right side. Feeds it inside, and the shot in a nice save there by Roddy. Roddy got out early and cut down the angle. Picked off Adamson. Now Memphis 3-on-3 out to the right side looking for Scharf. He'll work it back up high.
I tell you, I get mixed up with Scharf and Galizzi sometimes. Yeah. Just slightly bigger build on Galizzi, but same style of play, same haircut almost, and same quality of play here in the National Indoor Soccer League.
Now Adamson unleashed a rocket there, deflected by Hensley. Memphis still has it, and Zacco leaves it for Adamson a little bit wide. Adamson with the left foot looking to wind up again. Lost the ball that time, though. Let it get a little bit out of his reach. Counter opportunity for Hensley and Fayetteville down the left boards. Trying to make a move. Nice job defensively by Memphis as they'll work it back up. That was a nice takeaway by Castro.
Nicely done by Fayetteville, staying on his feet. Didn't wait for a whistle. Fayetteville plays on here. Good, strong play by Tariq Hurd.
Garcia got it down to Melendez. Melendez in the corner. Adamson takes away now. Zacco. Zacco has Galizzi ahead to his right. He'll feed it off to his left. Trying to center it. Nothing there. Memphis are going to switch along the back line. They have Bogus back in. They'll also work Alvarado back into the match. Now the front three trying to get switched off. So they'll have 2 of 3. Little push behind that time as Galizzi keeps his balance. Garcia got into his back. Through traffic that time, Castro. And turns it over. Here is Galizzi. Galizzi 2-on-1, shoots high, tries to get the re-header, and that may have been by design. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Either way, the quality of the header off of the rebound, it was top-notch, just right at the goalkeeper. If he goes either side, maybe that's a chance to go in. But the reaction time, maybe he gets in goal later today.
I mean, maybe it's like banging it off the backboard then going for the dunk. Maybe something he's worked on during practice. There's Alvarado trying to wrap it around, leaves it wide open net in front. No one there for the deflection. Left corner, Georgievich works. That'll get cleared all the way back to Klink. Dead ball, they'll look things over. Scharf works back over to Bogus, right side. Through traffic, right side.
Fayetteville running man-to-man right now, Jeff. They're following Memphis crisscrossing runners.
Left side, Garcia. And they've got Georgievich waiting on that back door if they can locate him. Instead, Scharf. Scharf finds it. Very tight coverage on the mark. Nice bank off glass. If this rolls in, it's a goal, but it will not.
Jeff, that's one we don't see very often is the carom on the sideboards.
There is again. Now Burke races up. Won't be able to pick it up. Long diagonal pass. This will come untouched by Fayetteville. Just tipped by Burke back to Klink. Well, one thing we've seen is Ndenzako brings it up. Memphis being a little bit more creative today, trying to get some caroms off the glass. Here's another one-timer just behind Adamson. And he takes a big push in the corner.
And referee Chris Strickland says, I mean, what do you want me to do? I'm looking right at it. I mean, that's a easy call for MLS veteran official Chris Strickland.
Falat got behind him, then he got his arms extended. In traffic, Galeese trying to break free. They march him pretty well. Right now, first 7+ minutes, possession dominated by the Americans. Fayetteville had one opportunity on a corner. That's about as best as they have had thus far. Galeese off the back heel. Follett was there to break it up. Now they'll turn and get it to Sierra Flores.
The one positive for Fayetteville, even with this flurry of activity for Memphis, just one goal at this point. If they can get their legs under them, they can get right back in this game with a moment of brilliance.
Popped out. Memphis has scored 81 goals, 82 now with the Adamson goal. They've given up 68 on the year. Meanwhile, Fayetteville, 61 goals scored, but defense has been a bit of a struggle. 128 goals now allowed, and this is their 15th match.
Yeah, with numbers like that, I mean, it's no shock to see what their record is for the season. You've got to seal things up at the back. One, it takes a bit of pressure on the offense, but if you can seal things at the back, it gives you an opportunity to transition as well and make the other team suffer, make them run more, because as the game goes on, that does become a factor, particularly when you are the road team.
Still the 1-0 lead. Klink's going to go long off the glass, and he's going to get himself an assist. What a feed. High off glass, and then the header, and the Americans now have taken a 2-0 lead.
Just a line drive. Keeper was trying to I couldn't tell if he was trying to either grab it or parry it over the top. He got caught in between the deflection. All he did was soften the rebound. Easy header for Memphis.
Well, Burke gets the goal, and for Burke, the header, that'll be his 8th goal of the year. We'll see if he gets an official assist after it touched the fingertips.
I'm sure the official scorers will give Klink an assist on that.
Give him the benefit of the doubt. It was outstanding. Long ball. This one's going to ride the rails before it goes off to the right and out of bounds.
Yeah, we're getting a nod down there. 3 things in life: death, taxes, and an assist for Matthew Klink.
There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But again, Memphis continues to be a little bit more creative, trying to use the boards here tonight. Not that they have in the past, but they're doing a few different things than you and I have seen in the past. And it may be just the game plan, something they've seen on film against Fayetteville.
Sure.
Adamson trying to race up. Adamson has Ndenzako ahead. He's got it. Ndenzako one-on-one if he wants it. He dishes off, and it's a 3-0 lead now for the Memphis Americans as Maxi Galeese gets his 10th goal of the season.
Look at Galeese, just a great run off the ball, but threading the needle, breaking the line. Corey Adamson sets this up, and then Ndenzako over to Galeese, and he moves it up just like George and Wheezy. Americans leading this one 3-0.
So the goals, Adamson assisted by Galeese, Burke assisted by Klink, Galeese assisted by Ndenzako, and a tight 1-0 match. All of a sudden, as Fayetteville wants a timeout, has been opened up. Memphis now with 5:14 remaining here in the opening quarter of play, lead at 3-0.
And just a reminder to all of our fans, you can check out all of the action across the national, they say it's the Indoor Soccer League. I think it's the National Interactive Soccer League on the YouTube channel NISL Pro. All league games stream for free this season. The full league schedule can be found at NISLPro.com. You can also find results of all league games, player stats, all the other NISL news. And also, Thrivent Mutual Funds helps investors prepare for a more secure financial future. Their experienced fund managers provide convenient, flexible options to make investing easier. And of course, we want to send a shout out to James Pest Management. For 75 years, they've been serving customers in Mississippi and Tennessee with the highest level of quality, friendly service with certified technicians, free same-day estimates, and customizable plans that are ready to help you and your family and your business be protected from unwanted pests. In fact, I'm going to pick up a phone this week. Jeff, swimming pool opens up in a couple of weeks, and I will have them do the seasonal mosquito
There you
treatment
go.
out back because I don't want my friends and family to get that virus, that West Nile virus.
Well, you know, it is warming up, so you're going to see those pests, and everyone wants to stay cool. So, chance to get out there and get that taken care of.
Absolutely.
Lanier will hook you up.
Yep, they will.
Here we go, back underway after Memphis was leading 1-0. Then goals coming just over a minute apart by Burke and Galizzi. And you could just feel the momentum. And here's Alvarado going out. You kind of feel that momentum building in a large way. And nearly a goal number 4. Just a bit high that time by Garcia.
Oh, nice step up by Castro to settle things down for Memphis, stopping the counterattack.
I think that's a good timeout by Al Flores, their head coach for Fayetteville. I mean, I think he could feel it too. If I don't call a timeout now, they're really getting going. All of a sudden, we may be down 5 or 6-0 before the end of the quarter.
And you don't want that. And early on, they held up against Memphis fairly well, the early flurry. But you want to keep yourself, as you said, in a position where if you can nick a goal here in the first period, you keep things relatively close. You keep the pressure on Memphis.
They'll work it back to Kling. He's got Ndenzaka to his right, Bogus to his left. He'll go down, straight down into the middle. Look for a header that time. It's going to be punched into the hands of Roddy off the head of Burke. Well, you got Alvarado and Burke down there. They're going to apply some pressure. Comes Alvarado. Now Burke's going to come in. Well, two-man game. And Zacco looking for the steal, and he got good position. He's going to get whistled for a foul there, Tim. It's only because he pulled the arm around. He had a chance maybe to pick up a clean steal and have a one-on-one.
Yeah, I think once he had the hand that wrapped around, and Chris Strickland saw that, called the whistle. It was a good call. Yeah. Good physical play, though, nothing malicious, but Fayetteville gets the ball back. I think at this moment, they not only would they like a goal, but just some sustained possession. And as soon as I say that, they launch a prayer to Matthew Klink, who corrals that pretty easily for Memphis.
That was Jose Garcia. I think he was hoping Ryan Hensley was going to be close. Was not. Klink gets the easy pickup. Galizzi now turns. Looking for Ndenzako, just a hair behind him now. Djordjevic knocks it away. And they've got Roddy out of the net. Let's see if Scharf throws one long range. He doesn't. Galizzi hangs on to it. Through ball. I'm not sure if he wanted Alvarado or Galizzi or Scharf on that one. They'll keep possession. They're going to get a switch out in the back. They'll bank it off to Adamson. Does have Garcia. That's where he's going to go. They're going to try to spread things out, regain their shape here.
Yeah, a lot of work to be done left in this game. Late in the first period, a lot of things can still happen. Memphis needs to continue to keep consistent pressure on. It looks like that's their ambition.
Well, not just the glass tonight, noticing some of the offensive sets. And here is Djordjevic, wanted to wind up. He's going to have to hold on to it. He'll go left foot, and that is stymied by Garcia. Toted. A little bit more, and maybe a little bit different system that the Americans running. They're running a lot of motion up front with their guys tonight, instead of just being the static and the 2-3 or the 2-1-2. Oh, and made a mistake going for that ball, but thankfully Garcia's okay.
Yeah, and to your point about the different shape and and formations that they are running, not a bad idea as you're heading into the playoffs. You don't want to be predictable going in. You want to try some things because it's either adapt or you die on the vine in the playoffs. So really smart to work on some things here heading into the playoffs.
Well, there's a whiff by Roddy and leaves it in the back door to Follette. Follette trying to get it out of trouble. Roddy's gotten himself back in net. Offensively, though, those front three just a little bit more fluid, and that may be part of a new plan by Corey Adams. And here's a long-range shot that is deflected by Roddy, just wide of the post.
That was a beautiful save by Roddy because Castro wound up and dropped the hammer on that, but well done parrying that wide. Good save, more than made up for the whiff just a few seconds prior.
Here's Castro back to Klink. So Memphis gets a switch up front. Ndenzako near midfield. Under a minute remaining here in the opening quarter of play as Memphis with the early 3-0 advantage. Scored less than a minute into the game. Stayed 1-0 for about 5 minutes before Memphis got back-to-back goals within a minute 8 seconds, forcing a timeout. The game has kind of settled since then. Memphis still dominating possession.
Yeah, shots on goal right now, 8-2 in favor of Memphis. see if they can maybe crack one more here before the end of the period.
And Nzako pinned momentarily in the one-timer. Squirts its way through, and it's a 4-0 lead as Giovanni Alvarado is 7th goal of the year.
Here's another look. Nzako plows his way through the inline, drops it top of the box, and Alvarado, good discipline to be at the right place at the right time, strong enough to finish that off for Memphis. A 4-0 lead here with just a handful of seconds to go in the first period.
Now time's going to run out before they touch it, and we are through 1 quarter of a play. Very active Memphis Americans team here in the opening quarter, and they have scored 4 times to make the commanding lead 4-0 after a quarter.
So Memphis with 9 shots on goal, Fayetteville with 2. It's 4-0 at the end of the first period. Folks, the great folks at Ounce of Hope are committed to helping people find high-quality medicinal alternatives and improving their quality of life for everyone. Ounce of Hope, one of the Memphis Americans' newest partners, their aquaponics farm consistently delivers high-quality end product while minimizing environmental impact. Ounce of Hope wants you to be pure, be well, and tell Cam that you love the Americans and thank them for their support. Coming up, second period on the way. Memphis leads this one 4-0.
Got ants. For your best choice in pest control, call James Pest Management, 367-2007.
All right, fans, your Memphis Americans are having summer camps and pre-registration is open right now. Pull out your phones and scan the QR code on the screen to get in on the action and secure your spot, or go to memphisamericans.com/camps to register.
Welcome back to the Landers Center. South Mississippi, the Memphis Americans with a 4-0 lead over the Fayetteville Fury. Final home weekend. They'll play a pair tomorrow between the men and the women. Fayetteville and Memphis at 7 o'clock here at the Landers Center. Should be a fun way to wrap up the regular season. Djordjevic right side. He fires. He barely misses, but it's going to get the friendly Karam. And Memphis now wins it, or leads it by a 5-0 advantage. Tim, sometimes it's benefits you to be at the right place at the right time.
I think that caromed off of a Fayetteville player. I think that was Tristan Mathis that it caromed off of. Maybe Burke gets credit for the goal. Maybe there was a slight deflection. We'll see how the scorers set that up. But 6 one way, half dozen the other. Memphis will take it 5-0.
Yeah, if it didn't hit Burke, or if it hit Burke, he was unaware he was getting turned around defensively. But obviously caught the deflection, and Memphis right off the bat didn't take long again for the second time this game to start a period, and Memphis jumps on top 5-0. And now Memphis, and they're going to give Burke the goal, Djordjevic with the assist, and so for Burke, that's his second goal of the match. He's got 9 on the season.
Yeah, I think you could certainly make a case that after it had after it had deflected off of Mathis, that Burke got the last touch on the way into the goal. So good eagle eyes at the scorers table tonight.
through midfield, and that one's going to be punched out, so it should be Americans' ball. It will be Memphis ball. Well, now if you're Corey Adamson, you're thinking, keep the momentum here, but as we talked about, we've seen a little bit different, a little bit more fluidity, maybe a little bit more use of the glass here this afternoon, as that one is sent high off the left foot of Djordjevic. Maybe play the match, not necessarily the team. You don't want to assume anything. You've got over a half to go. You got nearly 3/4 to go, but really work on the specifics, get down to the details, and this would head it toward playoff time.
Absolutely, and this is a great time to do it because you've got Fayetteville where you want them, and they're going to have to expend a lot of energy to mount any comeback at all at this point. Memphis dominating in not just the goals but also shots on goal. Here's a dead ball opportunity for Memphis.
Adamson goes right at it, just high again, and that's something they've changed. We saw the last weekend that you and I were here against Columbus. They don't try the indirect kick anymore from the spot. Corey's been winding up. He's got enough velocity on that leg. He's just been going straight at net.
Well, the incredible thing about Corey Adamson is the fact that not only does he get velocity, but there's really not much of a pullback on the shot. He gives you no time to react. It's not a full leg cockback. Well, incredible.
A lot like Djordjevic does. You talk about that wide swing. Corey a little bit more shorter and compact when he winds up as far as something from long distance, where Djordjevic needs to get that spacing, get that long leg going through the slot.
Which is a testament to how he's able to get himself open, because in indoor you oftentimes don't have that luxury, yet somehow he finds a way.
So the Fury will set things up from their back line as Memphis has Galizzi up top trying to pressure just a little bit. Through traffic in that pass, they just had trouble getting that ball settled down. Castro takes it for Memphis. Across the field, you got Galizzi in the center. They're going to send that one well high, and Alvarado just got up under that one.
Weimer's Jewelry is full-service, family-owned jewelry store proudly serving their customers since 1984. One of the largest repair shops in all of Memphis. Weimer's can provide new life to your favorite and more cherished jewelry, or get you looking your best in something new to love when you hear Weimer's Jewelry. We hope you think hometown jeweler.
And Nzako just right of the midfield circle, trying to navigate between a one-on-two conduit. Adamson there to break up the counter. They'll send it along to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, soft boards. And Nzako now gets possession for Memphis. Alvarado. They've got Burke ahead. If Alvarado can find him, he also has Nzako. Burke in the right corner. Draws the double. Burke got a little bit of spacing. He'll just leave it back to Klink. They'll open things up. Bogus will give away to Castro. Dumps it left corner. That's Burke. Burke up high into Nzako again. He's got two. Flanking the box. Leaves it for Bogus. Back to Klink. Now Memphis going to work a little bit on moving the ball around here. We'll work on a little bit of possession.
Yeah, tempo has slowed down just a little bit, but even with that, it still forces Fayetteville to give chase. And when you do that, if you're chasing and you're spending energy without the ball, it can be a problem.
Through to Bogus. Bogus has a wide open shot. It's going to go a little high. Castro, can he settle it? Yes, and he scores, and it's 6-0 Memphis with under 10 minutes to go in the opening half.
Bogus with the blast, but then Castro on the half volley. Beautiful into the side netting back post. Roddy, no chance. And Memphis flying here, 6-0 early second quarter.
It's all Memphis this afternoon.
I think I saw Kelsey Keown on the bench over there. Good to see her up and at him. I know she's got a season-ending injury, but doesn't stop going to practice, doesn't stop going to the games. I don't think she just stops at all at anything.
Memphis another opportunity. Quick 3-on-3 here. Trying to get the counter. They'll send it over to Galizzi. Now Scharf. Scharf winds up. Left foot goal.
Oh, guess what we're having for lunch? It's Scharf Boyardi.
Scharf with the goal will get his first of the season as he bangs it in. And now it's just a party here at the Landers Center. 7-0 Memphis. Still plenty of time remaining in the opening half. 8:45 and running.
Wow, that was a clean hit. Of course, last year, he was one of the mainstays of the original roster. Of course, he's back now, and picking up where he left off.
Roddy banks off, or rather Klink does, banks off glass. And that one's stolen. Memphis has a counter opportunity. A little pirouette that time by Djordjevic. Up to Ndenzako. Chip shot is deflected, and he tries for a little bit of an acrobatic kick as he got turned around. Trying to spin in the air and get that one. He's trying to go Matrix on that one.
Yeah, he passed the agility test, but he didn't pass the foul test with West Coet.
Left side, they'll work Follett up high if they can get it to him, and they cannot. Memphis quickly back on defense. Well, a lot of pressure. Djordjevic, he got taken down from behind, as it is Rosendo Sierra Flores who got in the back of him. And right now they're doing, Fayetteville, to their credit's doing what they have to do to try to stop the momentum. They'll take the fouls right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, it gives Memphis a chance to work on some other situations. And
Adamson launched it high.
Did he want a deflection? He did. He's got the good mustache working, like Chris Armas from the Gray Man movie. Looking sharp today. Had his kid out there. Did you see that before the introduction? He's recruiting early.
Poked up and settled down. So Klink will let him come to him as he'll dump it off to his right now over left wing. Adamson through traffic. Little touch pass. Here comes Memphis. They can get out and run here. It's going to be Sharp. Sharp's got Galeazzi to his left. He'll go right side. They'll send it in, and a quick touch that time by Garcia as Roddy pounces right on top of it.
Good one-timer. Good save by Roddy. Good reaction time. Keep this one at 7.
Foot race. Klink wins that race against Follett. And now some contact near the boards and a whistle against Fayetteville.
This is a unique challenge, too, for Matt Klink today because, one, he's playing every maybe 4th game or so, but then when you get in a match like this, you don't get as many touches where you're fully engaged in the heat of a close match.
Adamson leaves it easy. Touch in there for Djordjevic with his 23rd of the season.
Oh, wow, just like clockwork. Memphis keeping the ball on the floor. Galeazzi, nice touch, and then the layoff, as you mentioned, to Djordjevic, and Memphis with their 8th goal here. It's still 5:44 to go in the first half.
And look, they play this team again tomorrow night. They've got to finish out the regular season, but in their 12th match, Corey Adamson's got to feel pretty good how the team started to progress. This is as sharp as we've seen this Memphis team look this year. Yeah,
they have come out from the get-go ready to play, and with the final 2 regular season games here at home, that's exactly that's the response that you want coming out. Obviously a good week of practice for the Americans, and now it's paying dividends here on this Sunday afternoon.
Off the glass for the Fury. If they look wide to the right, they've got Mathis. They got it to him briefly. He's had the ball taken away that time by Ndenzako. Now Castro calls from some help. No one there as he dumps it back to Klink. Klink may have been looking for Burke. It'll be picked off. Klink knocks it down, and Ndenzako there to help out.
Fortunate for that carom to go right to a Memphis American. That one came out to the top of the box. That could have been an issue, but Memphis avoids trouble.
And Castro nearly had another breakaway with Alvarado sitting well ahead to his left. Poked away. That'll be Alvarado again. He's got Burke way down here at midfield, and Ndzako's going to take it. He's got Burke to his left. Looks like Castro is right. Burke. One move to his right. Wanted the one-timer to Ndenzako, left it a little bit behind Paolo.
Now in the transition, you got Bogus racing along the boards too. Strickland says play on.
Well, Bogus is down. Bogus is trying to
Is it a shoulder?
Use the boards, but he went down oddly, and it didn't look like big contact, but if you've got shoulder issues, yeah, he got that arm extended, and there was nothing malicious by Barca. Barca just trying to get out of the way, and if he's had issues before, going back to my hockey days, played with a couple of guys that had some shoulder issues, it doesn't take a lot to aggravate that. So they're going to tend to Bogus while they do that. Let's step aside here for just a moment while they take a look at Bogus down on the field. 4:01 left in the first half. Americans lead it 8-0. Well, Bogus is up and okay. And we've seen these types of injuries. If you have a shoulder, and I've played with the guys on the old club hockey teams, I'm sure you have too, in the indoor and the outdoor game, Tim. If you get any kind of separation or dislocation, it just becomes a thing that happens. I'm not sure that's what happened to Bogus, but shoulder injuries, until you get that thing really surgically repaired, it's just something that happens. There was nothing malicious, and there really wasn't a lot of contact that sent him down, but obviously in a lot of pain there for a while.
Well, and that seems to be the issue with a lot of sports injuries, is oftentimes it comes out of almost nothing. And there goes Corey Adamson around, right in front of the face of the goal, across the goal.
Sure, Klink was like, where you going there?
Stones on him.
Here's Galeazzi now. 3.5 remaining here in the first. It's 8-0 Memphis.
You know, at that point, I'm making deals with the Lord. Please don't drop past that to me.
Galeazzi, one of the old chip shot, sent straight up by Roddy.
Could you imagine if he'd have just left that for Klink as he ran by?
Just stopped him, kept on running. Dead ball in the corner. Now Memphis will have it.
Looks like Galeazzi will be over the ball. Adamson now drifting in toward the top of the arc, maybe toward the back post.
Through traffic, and it looked like Garcia was going to try to heel that in.
That was well timed, just didn't get all of it.
Djordjevic couldn't get that one in the middle. It's going to stay in play. They get pinned up against the boards, rolls it out, and turned over briefly. On the near boards, that is Tariq Hurd, the Virginia Military Institute. And another goal for Memphis, off to the right side. They lost possession of it. Got Roddy just a little bit out of there, and it's Djordjevic again, his second goal of the afternoon.
Adamson had a couple of options, a layoff to Galeazzi. He went near side, and really, it was a beautiful finish because Roddy had most of the near post covered. The fact that he was able to slide it home near post, nice finish, nicely done. Memphis Americans lead this 9-0, and it seems like the biggest struggle is for Georges to get the toy soccer ball off of the pitch.
So 9-0 with 2 minutes to go.
Leave the distribution up to Matthew Klink.
Right. So Memphis will have it to Castro. Went long that time. That's going to be headed out of bounds. They were looking for Burke, it looked like. Burke's got it back toward the goal. It has an Nzako slicing through. Couldn't find him. Just over 90 seconds remaining here in the opening half. And Nzako moves it back outside. Burke high off glass. Little chip shot there off to the right. Roddy's got it. He throws ahead quickly, trying to get something going. Now down the left wing is Zabarka. Bark has the one-on-one shot, and Klink with a big save out near the stripe. Tremendous job to cut down the angle on that one. It would have been easy to sit back along the goal line, but came out really forcing to shoot it right at him.
Yeah, Jeff, that was great goalkeeping on both ends because the distribution by Roddy was on point, played it into space, but not too far out in front, and then Klink makes the decision to come off the line, cuts down the angle. Both keepers getting it right there. Memphis with the advantage, of course, with the stuff on the far end.
And Nzaka leaves it in the corner. Hard off glass. Bogus on the back door. Ball just a tad behind him. Sierra Flores juggles just a little bit. Adamson heads it back down. Check that. That was Alvarado. Trying to get out of trouble here. It's Abarca. Under 30 seconds remain. It's going to be Hurd. Hurd turns it over. Maybe one more opportunity for Memphis of 18 seconds to go. Castro with 10. Castro, long range into the breadbasket of Roddy. Ronnie's going to hang on to it here. He may have to throw it away, but that is going to end the first half. Well, Tim, impressive first half by the Americans to say the least. 4-0 lead after one, but 5 goals in the second. They started off just 26 seconds into it. And the big sequence was the Castro Sharp Georgievich span of 3 goals in 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Just really, let's face it, erased all doubt in this match.
Yeah, and consistent play by the Americans. Shots on goal, just like the first. 9-2 in favor of Memphis. 18-4 on shots as we head into the halftime whistle. By the way, folks, Corky's Barbecue in Olive Branch, one of the newest sponsors of the Americans. Their iconic legacy in Memphis barbecue began almost 4 decades ago with their first restaurant. Since then, they've opened additional locations, packaged their product for shipping. Oh yeah, pigs fly, and you can find it in grocery stores and even on QVC. They're internationally known. The undisputed king of Memphis ribs and barbecue since 1984. That is Corky's. Make that part of your next meal break. We're going to take a break. Right, Jeff?
That is right. 9-0 Memphis at the half. Tim and I will be back with the second half of action from the Landers Center as you're watching the NISL.
Fans, cheer 'em on. for the men. Seconds remaining. Seconds. 3, 2, and 1. The final score is 2-0. Fans, give it up one more time for the Magnolia Heights men's and women's soccer team. Fans, your Memphis Americans are having summer camps and pre-registration is open right now. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to memphisamericans.com/camps to register.
Well, about ready to start second half action from the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi. Jeff Private alongside Tim Van Horn. It has been all Memphis out shooting Fayetteville 18-4 and 9-0 advantage. I'm sure the message from Corey Adamson in the locker room, Tim, probably something to the effect of obviously 9-0. You should have the match, but don't let things turn sloppy in the second half. You got a match with Fayetteville tomorrow. You don't want to take anything for granted.
Absolutely. And then also the question probably brought up, at what point do you take the foot off of the gas as well? I think the tempo we've already seen the tempo slowed down a little bit. Would that be fair to say?
Yes. Say if they can get an early goal, try to get that 10th goal, then lay off, work on possession. Usually once you get into any kind of a playoff in any sport, it turns a little bit more defensive in nature. So if you work on ball possession, probably helps you once you get into the playoff. Georgievich, left side. Georgievich looking for that early 10th, just missed it. Here's Galizzi, and he punts it in the upper deck. That is probably as far as we've seen one get into the upper deck in our 2 seasons here.
Yeah, he's smiling about that. When he got under that one a little bit, I think he just increased our rain chances by 10%.
That was the old the old kickball kick there. See how high you can get it in the gym at PE. Top of the basketball bleachers. So just underway here, and in the opening half, Adamson with a goal, Georgievich with a pair of goals. You have Castro, Burke with a pair of goals, Alvarado with a goal as well. Here's Adamson. Leaves it, Georgievich, and that's deflected before it makes it to Roddy. So one of the rare times lately that Adamson's not just trying to pound it on net, and I believe that caught the leg of Barca. Adamson off the boards. Works ahead. He's got someone in the middle. I believe that's Scharf down there. And there is the feed across from Burke. Now they got him trapped. Trying to work it out of a little bit of a jam. Barca comes away with it. One-on-one, trying to get around Djordjevic. Nice job to ride him off the ball. Not a bad foul to take, though, by Djordjevic, riding Abarca off the ball.
Yeah, at that point, slow him down. No blue card or anything coming out of that. I'm a little surprised at that, but it is a dead ball situation inside the yellow line for Fayetteville. An opportunity here to maybe scratch one back here in the early going.
Three-person wall. They'll leave it to the right. Little ball movement, got behind. Clink on the kick save on the left side.
That was great positioning, and now Memphis has the numbers.
Galeese on the left, Adamson on the right. No one in front except for Roddy. They leave it, and Adamson just lets it touch in off the feed from Galeese. And that's the counterattack you draw up.
Yeah, it was just a question of who was going to take the shot, and Galeese with the outside of the boot taps it home. Of course, Roddy now playing out in the field for Fayetteville, and the backup keeper coming in with it being 9-0. Trying to get just something different out there. But for Memphis, it's business as usual, Jeff.
10-0 Memphis. Not yet 3 minutes into the third quarter.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't catch the announcement by public address announcer Lynn Neal of the goalkeeper change, and we learned the hard way on a breakaway.
So they'll set it up over to the right side.
Excuse me, Lynn Neal, the real deal.
That's what I've heard. Bogus left side on the wing. Steps up.
All right, look at Bogus running. He's keeping his arm close. So I think you called it right on the money with the shoulder. Now we've got our first penalty of the match. Is that Alvarado?
Yeah. Yes.
And now we've got looks like we've got a yellow card as well to the Fayetteville player, and he's being asked to go to the box. Chris Strickland says you got to go over there as well. So perhaps we've got offsetting minors.
We got Alvarado for Memphis.
Now, I believe Chris Strickland might have shown Alvarado a yellow card as well, looking at the body language when he showed the yellow card to Abarca. Then I think he also showed it and pointed toward – well, we'll get clarification in just a moment. But what we do know is Fayetteville has –
well, someone looks like they're serving a major. You've got two in the body. You've got Bogus – or not it's Bogus and Alvarado in the Memphis box. So someone may be serving a major at this point.
I think what you've got is you've got the 2 minutes for Alvarado, and then you got the yellow for Abarca, and then you got the yellow for Alvarado. And because Bogus has been playing injured, he's sitting out and serving the other penalty. So now Memphis playing, it looks like a man down here for at least the next 2 minutes.
Power play here for Fayetteville. And that one headed away. And as well as Memphis has played offensively, don't be surprised if they try to turn a shorthanded situation into a counterattack here instead of just clearing it the length of the field. Deflected, and that's left. It's loose. Out of net. What a great job diving to his right. Was moving to his left. That's where the ball went. Clint comes back and covers things up.
Yeah, nicely done. Good reaction on the first save, and then nice work getting back up for the second save. So you got to get up to get down, and that's what Matthew Klink did.
Over the foot of Ndenzako. He'll get it settled down back to Adamson. Adamson looks, trying to get it on the outside of his off foot to Scharf. Fayetteville keeps possession. They keep the power play. Left wing, Melendez. Dumps it down. They'll keep possession. Melendez again. You know, Memphis doing a nice job killing off this power play. They forced Fayetteville out yet again.
It's a good dummy there, an opportunity, but wide.
Right side, Adamson's going to apply some pressure. They'll have to send it all the way back. Now they're going to try a little bit of a hybrid 6-on-4. They'll bring the keeper up to midfield. Long range, and Memphis pokes it. If Alvarado can see it, he can take a shot at it. Here's Ndenzako. He's got him turned around, and Ndenzako nearly through the 5-hole. And it is hard to see. You're 3/4 of the length of the field. You're not aware how far out of net he is, but would have had the opportunity.
No foul called in the box.
Bogus back on full strength. So it must be double major, and then the minor was served by Bogus.
Yeah, and I think we called out Alvarado. The foul was actually on Burke.
Or Burke, yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Bogus, as you pointed out, getting good indication. It looks like Bogus has that arm wrapped up, and he's not moving it very far from the body. Again, just a little, not much contact earlier as he got tied up with a Barca near the boards and went down immediately. Here's a turn and a goal, and Memphis makes it 11-0. And it's going to be Galizzi, it looks like, again from the right side.
Is that a no look, Jeff? Here's another look. He just turns and fires.
Look, it went in doubt, just throw it in front of the net, see what happens.
It's exactly what he did, and he proves that that's usually a pretty good idea. Memphis leads this one by a score of 11-0. Specializing in luxury real estate, the Haynes Group can help you find your dream home when it comes time for you to buy or sell. Check them out for all your realty needs.
Fayetteville swings it near side. They'll miss the header that time. It bounces right to Corey Adamson. Adamson pushes through left on the right side looking for Djordjevic. Couldn't get it to him.
Of course, this is part of a doubleheader. The women will play after this. The women staying on point, dominating in the women's division.
Adamson shot up. Galizzi rockets it through the middle. Fury have it to Hensley. Hensley from distance high off the glass. Headed back to Klink. Now Adamson a little soft on that one. Wanted Djordjevic. Now out of the net. A little bit of a dangerous ball. Djordjevic helps him out there. Adamson right side. He's got Castro off to his right one. Traylor Adamson takes it himself. Galizzi trying to side swipe it as well. Adamson gets the steal. Lets it settle, and a great goal. He threads the needle on the near post.
It's a good finish. Level of difficulty was high. That near post is always going to be a tough one, even when you have your backup keeper in. Just too much speed on it. Well done for Corey Adamson, and it's a dandy dozen for the Memphis Americans.
Now, Adamson, the success on that, not just threading the needle, but he waited a split second for the ball to settle so he could get a solid strike and not punt it up into the upper deck.
Yeah, he got it. He played it on the downward motion, so he was able to drive that, keep it low, as you said. Good news for the Americans as they lead now 12-0.
A little under 6 minutes remaining here in the third. With the left foot's going to be high and wide. Fury keep it in. Up in the air that time, Sierra Flores just kind of hoping for a prayer to get in the air.
Now's a great time to give a shout out to our jersey sponsor, HSE Agency. Specializing in sports and entertainment marketing, HSE Agency offers a full range of integrated services built to work together to provide unmatched value and access in areas of partnerships, marketing, creative, and consulting. HSE Agency is ready to help you succeed. Americans succeeding here this afternoon, Jeff. Another opportunity in front of goal for Memphis.
They'll send it out wide. Castro and hammers Galizzi in the middle. Everyone okay. I don't think Galizzi was expecting that to come anywhere toward him.
No, I think, and it's good to see Castro and Galizzi laughing that one off.
And then Zacco, maybe a bit fortunate not to get whistled for a foul there on a hold. Bogus.
And here's a challenge for Memphis too, Jeff, is to keep Fayetteville off the board. Is continue to press, but don't compromise your defense.
Galizzi leaves it back. A little 1-2 action there as Djordjevic goes high and hits the scoreboard.
You break it, you buy it.
There are no refunds.
No. Chris Strickland hands the ball off to Fayetteville. They'll do a restart in their own zone.
We'll back it up here. Under 4 minutes to go. And again, all Memphis today, 12-0 Americans. Off the crossbar. Shot just a tad high that time for Memphis. Off the foot of Garcia. They'll give it back. Galizzi with the left foot. Scharf gets back, little drop step back off to the left. Djordjevic almost looked like he was lining it up, then dribbles in. Galeese just high. And Galeese taken down into the boards on the shot. Well, he's slammed him pretty good.
Yeah, he stumbled back into the board, so they're not going to call boarding, but he does draw the foul here, and this is essentially, well, it's the exact spot of a corner kick. So Corey Adamson will do the restart here on the far side with just under 3 to go.
Got Scharf high. Instead, he's going to go Djordjevic, and Djordjevic hit that one fat. You could hear it up here, not the usual sound you hear. I don't know if he hit that off the back of his heel. Still good enough to get the goal.
Yeah, and you can even tell by his body language that, yeah, you called it, Jeff.
Just didn't get that in a sweet spot, but it was sweet enough for another goal. 13-0 Americans.
Yeah, he was, he did. He hit it fat, but he hit it accurately. And as you said, you just got to throw it on goal.
It was almost like a flat soccer ball is what it sounded like up here, like some of the pressure had been let out of it. Nice move, initial move by Abarca. Couldn't get the secondary, though. Follow's going to be high and out of bounds.
When you're not at the game but are looking for game day eats, check out one of our great partners, 10th Inning Bar and Grill in Snowden Grove. They've got a menu that'll go the distance, whether it's extra innings, overtime, or pregame. Check them out and tell them thank you for supporting your Memphis Americans.
Americans looking to try to lock up the 2 seed here this weekend, and they're in good shape right now. You mentioned the women. They 8-3, and Columbus behind them at 7-6, so a 3-game lead in the loss column. Could finish it off for that number 1 seed today mathematically, possibly tomorrow, but it looks like they're in good shape to take that top seed and defend their crown in the playoffs. And in Zacco, Rockets won into the stands.
Still looking at the Memphis bench, Peter Slee was still dressed in his goalkeeper garb. Before the game, I'm telling you, he was in his field gear, right? Number 6.
We are in Memphis, the wrestling capital of the world. He may pull the goalkeeper shirt comes off, and he's got a Ford's jersey on.
I just want to see him play defender. I want to see him get out there and have a crack.
Hey, man, if you're up 13-0, you're not playing defender. You may put me back there if I went right to the top. Scharf trying to get that takeaway. He couldn't do it. Now Garcia working on it. Hensley comes away with it out to the right side. Abarca on the back door if Hensley can find him. And then they've got a trailer coming up. It will never develop. Clink all over. They had Melendez kind of trailing all alone, but no one ever caught sight of him.
Yeah, and that's a good reaction off the boards by Clink to be able to pull that in at the top of the box. Corey Adamson was there, but again, reading the boards very well, anticipating. And I'll say this, I respect Fayetteville for the integrity of the fact they're down 13, but you wouldn't be able to tell it by their effort because they are playing hard. They haven't given up on this match yet, and they are working to try to get that first goal.
At midfield, they'll punch it through. They've got Hensley alone left side, but that ball hops too high. He's a little bit behind it. Hensley a little frustrated. I think Hensley knew if he was a little maybe ahead by a half step, may have the one-on-one. But that'll end the third quarter. It is all Memphis. They lead this thing by a score of 13-0. Fourth quarter action coming away after this as you're watching the NISL.
All right, fans, I am down here on the field where these two teams are about to compete head-to-head in the Pyramid Electric Soccer Surge Relay. On one team, we have Aiden and Liam. Go ahead and wave, you guys. And on the other team, we have Anthlo and Leo. All right, the rules are simple. Liam and Anthlo, you must race down the field, put on an American's uniform, then pass the soccer ball to your teammate, who then has to score a goal. Whichever team finishes first is going home with 2 tickets to our next home game. All right, are you two ready? All right, fans, are you ready? I said, fans, are you ready? All right, let's get Let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1, go! All right, they are putting on those shorts. Next up is that jersey. Fans, cheer 'em on. Pass the ball to your teammate. Who is it going to be? And it looks like Antho and Leo are our winners. Congratulations. You are going home with those 2 tickets to our next home game. Fans, give it up for all 4 of our contestants.
Thirteen 0 Memphis Americans as we get set to start the fourth quarter from the Landers Center.
Welcome back, folks. Our partners at Hills Brothers Professional Cleaning Services work to provide clients with a personalized janitorial and professional cleaning experience. This local family-run business can help with all of your commercial and residential cleaning needs throughout Memphis and the tri-state area. Give them a call or check out their services at hillbrosclean.com.
Underway here in the fourth quarter, and right now up 13-0. No doubt about this match here, Tim. All you want to do here is remain healthy. Here's Galizzi, and that one is broken up from behind by Garcia.
Memphis kept up the pressure last period, 8-2 shots on goal, 27 to just 6 shots for the Fayetteville Fury. At this point, down 13-0. You know, now the question is, can Memphis finish the job and keep a clean sheet?
A one-timer got deflected. They clogged up the middle in the box. Memphis has Castro, and they're battling, but Galizzi is going to get the takeaway that time.
And if I'm Corey Adamson, I wouldn't be surprised if he keeps 1.5, 2 players back throughout the entire period just to prevent any kind of breakaway at this point. Because you do, I mean, these are things, listen, you got the win in the bag, unless there is some sort of ESPN Sports Center moment that we're about to have. But when you have a chance to put a clean sheet up, that is a team accomplishment, and that's got to be something that's got to be in the back of their minds here.
Might try some people in their secondary positions if you want to. You still got to remember, and of course Corey's not going to do it for Memphis. Not trying to run anything up. You still have a match with them again tomorrow and then the next season. And last year, this is your biggest rivalry inside the league, as it was Memphis and Fayetteville. A little bicycle kick put out, and they return still loose. Adamson pokes it out of bounds. Well, last year, it's your big rivalry in the league. Fayetteville wins it in the men's division. Memphis and Fayetteville went back and forth, 1-2 all the way to the championship.
Yeah, in fact, it may be fair to say that Fayetteville was Memphis's kryptonite
Yeah.
last season.
Under 13 to go. Still a 13-0 lead for the Americans. On the boards is Garcia. Djordjevic. Little no-look pass over to Scharf. And they get that one cut off on the near post. He'll back, turn around. They'll dump it in front of the net. And Scharf had the deflection. Nice job by the Fayetteville keeper there. Had to rattle off a couple right at him.
Yeah, just played big there. Good, simple goalkeeping and got the job done.
Djordjevic feigned the long shot off the heel of Scharf. They've got it back to Burke. And now Bogus. Burke and Scharf, they're bunched up. Burke puts it across on the far post. Djordjevic again. Leaves it for Scharf. Bogus down in the box. Maybe not the place Corey Adamson wants Bogus with that banged-up shoulder, really. A lot of contact down there.
Yeah, that's got to be – every touch has got to be aggravating for him.
And another goal for Djordjevic. just rolls it in to the left on the far post, and it's 14-0 Memphis.
It's a beautifully taken ball as he gets the layoff and then just goes far post. Couldn't go wrong there. Gaping net on the backside. No chance for the Fayetteville goalkeeper.
A little interaction they've added here, second half of the season. Sign the mini ball, throw it to the fans after a goal.
You know they'll be really committed once after a goal. They let us sign some plush microphones and throw them.
I'm sure those are on order. Over the far side. There's a shot, and that one glances off of Klink's hands. Nice save. They'll try it again, not going to happen. Galease's going to turn. Galease works ahead. Alvarado scores, and Memphis leads it 15-0. And Alvarado, just a nice touch there on the feed from Galease.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a good finish. That's not an easy shot to take.
Second goal of the night for Alvarado. So Djordjevic with 4 goals, Adamson with 3, Galease, Burke, Alvarado now with 2 goals each in this match.
We're going to have a restart after, well, one of the balls. Again, the only thing our players haven't done well is throw those little mini balls into the stands, and we had a bit of a hold up there.
Kick them.
Yeah.
Here's Adamson trying to get in out of trouble. Nice little kick stop on the tackle. 2-on-1 opportunity. Adamson makes up the ground. Still a 3-on-2. One-timer, and they're on the board with 9:42 to go.
Beautiful finish. You know, good for Fayetteville Fury. They haven't given up whatsoever, so you know they deserve to get a goal out of this, and that is Fernando Jose Barca with the goal, and Matt Klink, no chance there.
You know, and he's been one of the more active players we've talked about today.
Yeah.
9:16 left. Getting a 15-1 advantage for Memphis.
Good save by Mathis.
Adamson leaves it over to Djordjevic. Oh, nice job on the pass. Castro tried the heel touch. That one is going to stay out of bounds. It rode the rail, but into the penalty box.
Well, that may have taken the last bit of suspense out of the match.
Yeah.
But Memphis still got to be well pleased with how things are going. But again, still plenty to go here in the fourth quarter. Still some work they can get in. And as you mentioned, you know, this does not guarantee the result tomorrow night, as it's going to be 0-0 all over again.
Well, Fayetteville had some late travel. Some players arrived earlier this morning. Tonight they'll get a full night's rest. Could be a little bit different story tomorrow, at least a full night's recovery before the match tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, they can sleep in, they can ice down. 7 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night for the doubleheader. So, yeah, absolutely. Could be a whole different story tomorrow night. And again, you know, Fayetteville, this whole match, they haven't given up, and they've put in the energy, they've put in the work, but Memphis has been, you know, easily the superior team out of all of this. But yeah, you do credit them for their work.
Alvarado leaves it, and Memphis gets that goal back. It's now 16-1. Memphis Americans are just over 7.5 minutes remaining here at the Lander Center's. Galease punches in yet another one.
And if you're the goalkeeper for Fayetteville, it's like, well, what can you do?
Well, I mean, it's obviously not all on him. It's 16-1. How many one-timers have we seen tonight? He's had to face plenty of 2-on-1s, 2-on-nones tonight, and a couple of breakaways.
And also, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Derek Roddy, you can see his wrist and his hand is taped up, so he's played goalkeeper, playing through what looks to be an injury anyway, which is not an easy thing to do when you're trying to cushion a shot.
Do the double team, it'll bounce over to Klink. Long throw, left side. Here is Burke. Burke, they'll collapse on him. Nice save down on one knee.
Good job by Mathis. Klink almost there with his second assist of the match.
And a little tough going. We've seen it both in the men's division and the women's division. A couple of the teams last year that were competitive. You're talking about a league going from year 1 to year 2. There's a lot of roster movement in a league when it's starting to develop from season 1 to season 2. Memphis, one of the teams. There's Georgievich. Georgievich trying to get a little stutter step there, and he'll just go down and take a break. A little frustrated, couldn't get the pirouette that time.
Yeah, just couldn't pull that one off.
But a lot of roster movement between year 1 and year 2. Memphis probably the teams that returned the most consistent in keeping the core of their rosters together. Of course, you added Central Florida and Tampa, and they've been, especially Tampa, has been pretty impressive this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a lot of this, too, the team that you see here may be a bit different than of course, you lose a bit of depth on a road game compared to a home game, too.
.5:25 to go, Alvarado. Chip shot, Ndenzako.
No!
Oh, it hangs on the line. Ndenzako, fortunate for him, now he's holding his left wrist, ran right into the post. I think he's okay, but for Paolo Ndenzako, I think he may have jammed his left wrist. He's not using it to get into the box over there. One-timer off to the left side on the post, but Ndenzako, I think, just lost. This is Fade. That post came a lot quicker than he thought it was coming.
Yeah, it was not a bad ball. I couldn't tell if Corey was trying to shoot or if he was to pass, but Paulo was at the back post doing what he was supposed to do, but then it just hung on the post and on the goal line. It was like a basketball stuck on the flange.
Here is Galizzi again. They'll turn, flicks it in for the goal, and Memphis makes it 17-1.
Another look at that. Just nice and calm. Flick of the outside of the right foot. Beautiful goal. Fans, when preparing for a storm, build an emergency kit for storm season. Make sure it contains water, non-perishable food, first aid supplies, batteries, a flashlight or lantern, prescription drugs, and copies of all your important documents. Stay safe in all weather situations by staying ready. That's your GoPro restoration tip of the game.
Burke with the pass and the finish by Georgievich.
And the other tip, don't blink. Holy mackerel.
What was the offhand, Tim? Do you remember the Tampa score earlier this year?
24.
24 goals, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't, not that they couldn't, but in 3.5 minutes, I don't think Corey's going to try to equal that or do anything. Look, as Georgievich touches it up.
Is that his 5th goal of the game?
Yeah.
I believe it is.
It's 18-1 now, and let's face it, it would be more insulting in Memphis to not try to play rather than sit in midfield and just kick it around for 30 minutes. But by no means have they been maliciously trying to run it. They've played their offense, taking the high percentage, high-quality shots. Just a game where Memphis had it today. And there's Georgievich again, chips it in there, makes it 19-1. What a game for Georgievich. He's got 28 goals, and nearly a quarter of his season goals have come this afternoon. Seven goals, excuse me, and that is a quarter. So 7 of 29 on the season now.
They'll be mathing me here.
About 20,
yeah,
maybe 24%, not quite a quarter.
It's too much math for me, man. You can have that.
They got Ndenzako on the backside if they want him. Hard off glass, pinned just to the left of the post. They'll come over and pick it up.
Good job by Mathis, just getting it out, trying to have some sort of a counter. And I'll say this too. Yeah, on one side, when you're winning by so much, good sliding challenge, not giving up. That's a good job by Adamson. But I'll also say this about Fayetteville. You could easily be petulant at this point and be petty and start putting in cheap fouls. They have not done that to this point.
And Ndenzako through the 5-hole scores 20-1 Memphis. See in the background some of the women's players for the Americans. They continue their warm-up behind the net. They'll try to finish things off this weekend, take that #1 seed, and try to win back-to-back titles.
Yeah, it should be exciting second half of the doubleheader this afternoon. So Memphis, 20 goals, incredible coming up on this last minute of play. Fayetteville trying to see if they can scratch out at least one more.
Off to the right side, high off glass, a little bit of a whiff there. Can they get the follow wide to the left of Klink? One-timer from the left post, and that'll be their second goal of the afternoon with under a minute remaining.
You know, both of their goals have been very nicely done. I mean, there's no garbage goals coming out of Fayetteville. I know it's just their second goal of the game, and they trail by 18. But again, we go back to the point. When you're in a match like this, it's really easy to shut it down or just start lashing out, and they've done neither of these things at this point. So, I mean, you got to, for me, I mean, full respect and credit for the effort and the integrity that they've put into this match.
All right, there's the clear into the stands. Under 30 seconds remain. So the Americans are going to go to 7-5-0 overall. Fayetteville's going to drop to 4-11. These two teams meet tomorrow night to wrap up the regular season play.
And we'll see that maybe one more kick left in the match, maybe.
Adamson touches it left side. Galizzi a little wide. Adamson off the crossbar to end it. Well, Tim, it's going to be 20-2, the final this afternoon in the men's match. Again, Memphis 6-5-0. And so for the men, they're still going to be behind Central Florida, who has clinched that #1 seed. But for Memphis now getting the 7th win, mathematically now they're going to have the 2 seed if it wasn't locked up already. So they're going to go in for a second year in a row as a 2 seed, which puts them good in playoff. They won't have to face the regular season champion until they get to the finals. But you want momentum tomorrow. Of course, 20-2 gets you a lot of momentum. Last thing Corey Adamson wants is a sloppy win tomorrow. You want to keep the same effort, same preciseness you got tonight.
Absolutely, and a couple of things. You got to run some different types of offense. You got to check the different types of flow, but also you got more time in goal for Matt Klink. He showed himself he acquitted himself very well tonight. Both of the goals by Fayetteville, just really well worked team goals. Good anticipation, good positioning by Matt Klink tonight. So all in all, a nice win for Memphis in more ways than one, and we're just halfway done with the afternoon, Jeff.
20-2, the Memphis American men a winner of the Fayetteville Fury. We'll be back a little bit later for the women's matchup between Memphis and Fayetteville.
Fans, your Memphis Americans are having summer camps and pre-registration is open right now. Pull out your phones and scan the QR code on the video board or go to memphisamericans.com/camps to register. Fans, make sure you head on up to the main concourse area. Our men's team will be signing autographs right by the merchandise stand. So again, head on up there to get autographs from the Memphis Americans men's players.
And time will expire. They've been top all year long. The number 1 seed, the division champs, always with an air of inevitability to it. The Memphis Americans, they take home the championship.
Calling out the beast, the tiger underneath. Starting to believe the world is at my feet.
Here comes Kelsey Keon. She's Jones to her right. She'll keep it herself. The step over. She's not. Shoots. She scores. Oh, and now the clothes are coming off.
Yeah, my blood is rebel. I'm going all the way. I'm going to another level. To another level.
And welcome back into the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi, as we're about set for the second game of our doubleheader between the Memphis Americans and the Fayetteville Fury. The Memphis men were 20-2 winners. They have clinched that semifinal spot in the league playoffs. And now the Memphis women here trying to wrap things up in the standings before they head to the playoffs against Fayetteville this afternoon. Memphis is 8-3-0. Fayetteville 4-10-0. Although they've got a 3-game lead in the loss column, mathematically, Tim, it's not wrapped up. Today should, if they win, clinch that number 1 seed overall.
And Memphis has had good luck against Fayetteville this year. Looking for to continue the possibility of a season sweep, but only time will tell. Memphis men, big winners earlier on, 20-2. We'll see if Corey Adamson's women's team can make it for a sweep this afternoon. It looks like Chris Strickland will be in the box to start the game. You'll have Michael Carson and Wes Kellett will be out in the field as your officials this afternoon.
Well, here we go as the Americans in the reds today, and Fayetteville will be in their orange with the black sleeves as coming to midfield. We are about ready to get underway. So it'll be Molly Martin. And for Fayetteville, it'll be Maddie Capel who gets first touch. And we are underway. That's going to be Tadlock. Tadlock moves it through. Push back out. And, of course, in net, Angel Haley, your goalkeeper of the year a season ago, and she's been just as impressive. In fact, defensively, it's two different teams from a year ago, the league champions. They turned from a big scoring threat. Of course, Memphis has had some injuries, but their defense, and it was solid last year, but only 33 goals. They turn, and the shot is deflected quickly, but in 11 matches in an indoor game to just surrender 3 goals a game, it's pretty impressive. That's what the Americans have done.
Yeah, and she plays what I like to call a quiet goalkeeper. Her positioning is always on point, so really you don't see her flying all over the place or having to scramble from being out of position. She positions very well, and that has served this club exceptionally well since its inception last season.
Cat went through the middle, back over to Tadlock. Tadlock through traffic. Cat trailing on the backside. Had Martin up high. Now they'll pinch down low.
Got another good goalkeeper in there, too, Elga Yoshi. Played last year. She had to play through an injury. They were shorthanded on the bench, and she toughed it out last year. You know, that's the main thing that sticks out for me was just the fact that she's tough and finished the job. And as a road team, you don't have many other options, so you got to do the best with what you got.
Oh, off the heel that time, nothing doing for Jessica Jones. And so Cheyenne Smith, she'll just send it back to Angel Haley.
It's a great pass by Angel Haley as the Americans were looking to make a line change. She went far side of the field.
Vega deflected it off one defender. It's still loose, volleyed into the middle. Multiple headers before that ball gets settled down. Ogiyoshi wasn't expecting that first shot. Second shot wide to the right. Kept alive right in front of net before she was able to gain control. Vega tried to push through. That one's going to be broken up by Grace Herbert out of Pfeiffer University.
Had some good luck finding Jessica Jones, and now Fayetteville try to slow things down and keep a bit of possession.
Long off to the near side, nearly intercepted by Vega. Vega trying to get it still. She'll force the turnover. Now to the left side, that'll get punched in, but an easy pickup that time by Ogoyoshi. Left high, and now Memphis works the right side. Turnover, Fayetteville pushing up. Broken up by Trotter. Trotter took a little contact that time. Now Memphis may have an opportunity from the left. That shot is punched up and out of bounds.
Not a bad idea. Take a shot from distance just to keep the keeper on her toes. Early going here at Landers Center, and as you mentioned, Jeff, this is the first women's match of two. There'll be another one tomorrow night. Of course, first kick at 7 o'clock. You can get tickets at MemphisAmericans.com. That's MemphisAmericans.com here at the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi.
Alexis Cat got tied up. That whistle's going to go against Fayetteville. Looks like Rivas may pick up the foul.
You know, there are some different names compared to last season's championship team, but the results seem to be very similar. The players that do come in buy into Corey Adamson's system.
I was trying to push up. Now they're going to get a line change. Trotter will rotate off. Now Tadlock's going to come off. They're going to get nearly a full switch here. So the kick's going to come from Cat right at the top. She's got Smith over to her right. To her left is Odino Drawn. And 2 down on the post. Cat dumps it off. The shot and a nice kick save. Put back into the box, but Capel able to control it. She'll clear it all the way down to Haley, who's going to come up above the yellow line. Well, that's Smith who did a really nice job there.
I think she's taken on the whole team
Yeah.
at this point and succeeding. And then finally a foul there, but you can definitely see why she's a fan favorite, Jeff. Definitely gives it her all and not afraid of physical play.
Well, she got around one, then was able to move her between the double team. And a pretty physical player there. They got away with just a little bit of a hole, but they're going to let it play in the run of the game.
I'm still shocked at how long she kept possession against 3 of the Fayetteville players. That was nicely done.
Ogiyoshi. Just above the line, top of the box, off the back of the hill for Smith. And here comes Memphis. Chance to get out on a 3-on-3 break, but the pass be a little bit behind. Tadlock's going to pick it up. Or check that Martin. Now Martin in midfield. And we'll have a whistle behind the play, and they didn't let that run on. Kind of surprised they didn't let that play run on. Memphis may have had an opportunity there, but now Martin sets up. No looks it over to the left side to Smith. Smith fires. Goal. Little distance there for Smith, her 6th goal of the season from the left wing.
I'm surprised the metal detector didn't pick up the cannon attached to her left leg. That was drilled high. No chance for Elga Yoshi, just overwhelmed with the shot. A beauty. And Memphis, she said, strikes first blood here early in the first quarter.
So about midway through the first, Memphis with a 1-0 advantage. Now they'll go back, and that's Anna Trotter. We saw her come onto the scene a couple of weeks ago in that Central Florida series. Had the game winner on the Friday night.
Yeah. And that's part of the culture here with the Memphis Americans women's team is that you've got everybody on the team is contributing in some specific way that's making it all work. Every piece has an intrinsic value, that's for sure.
Vega, they work it through over to Kerner. Well, chip shot, that's going to go a little bit high. Didn't take enough top spin. Still, they've got Ogoyoshi a little bit out of net. She's going to wait for it to come back in. Or is that Walker they have in net here? Looks like that may be Walker they have. They've got 2 listed on the roster. We'll get clarification. They've got 24 in net right now.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I think that is Samantha Walker that is in goal.
May see Ogoyoshi tomorrow because they've got her listed on the game sheet, so they may run one in each batch. Here comes Trotter. Trotter goes down at midfield. I'll say this: Trotter, a physical player, and we talked about her in that Central Florida match, where she does take some hits, but she'll get up, she'll keep on coming. And it paid off. She got that game winner against Central Florida well out of the yellow line. In fact, she was closer to midfield than she was on that rocket she sent from way back from distance.
Yeah, no doubt. And not physically not the biggest player on the pitch by any stretch, but I will respectfully say this, pound for pound, she gets after it. And she fits right in with this club and has been making contributions from the get-go.
Now off to the right side, Tadlock. He's got Martin to her left. She'll bank it off the boards. Settled, turn, shot, deflected. It's still loose, and it'll be picked up.
Nice takeaway and turn by Cheyenne Smith as they try to skip pass up the middle, try to break the lines, but here comes Memphis. Tadlock will go near side. And there's a shot and a give and go.
Beautiful strike and a beautiful feed, and Memphis takes a 2-0 lead with over 6 minutes to go as she had it set up and coming through the middle, Tadlock.
Yeah, Molly Martin just laid that right in stride on the give and go. Well done for Memphis. They double their lead 2-0. And we'll see how the women can distribute the mini soccer balls into the crowd. I got a feeling that they do everything great.
Out to the left side now, off of Rebus. Well, as Memphis, the men had got out to the early lead less than a minute, and then it kind of went back and forth. They put 3 goals together quickly. See if the Americans women, and they can, when they get going, they can put a few together pretty quickly. You got to feel they can put another one together before the end of the first quarter. They'll be in pretty good shape with the way their defense. Well, look, if they put a third one on, that tells you they're at least playing to a draw for overtime. Statistically, they only give up 3 goals a game.
Oh, nice layoff by Vega.
Kerner to the right side, and it'll be not covered up. It got loose. It's going to roll in, and it's going to be a 3-0 lead. It looked like Walker had smothered it, but just didn't have control. Now, she's saying, I may have had control of it. It got knocked loose. Let's look. No. That's a split second, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Michael Carson was on top of that. That ball was still moving, did not have it secure. Just because you're touching it doesn't mean that you have control of it.
So there you go. You got a 3-0 lead. And in a season in 11 matches, you've given up just 33 goals. They tried to go long diagonal. That was knocked away by Trotter. Tadlock now right side midfield. Trotter delivers to Cat to her left. Probably a good duo. Corey Adamson putting Cat, who's a veteran, very active a year ago, knows the lay of the land with Trotter. Kind of mixes in the new with the veteran player. Hard to say veteran player, just 2 years, but let's face it, Cat was a everyday starter, a lot of minutes under her belt Again, Trotter getting physical there, and the foul. She draws the foul, got Revis, who is going to get whistled for it.
Yeah, I think at that point, it's fair play by the official to go ahead and make that call when you have two players that go down like that. And it will add to the foul count. Don't forget, in the NISL, 18 fouls equals a 2-minute penalty.
Revis pinned against the board by Cat. Couldn't get free. Now a little bit of help. Now Martin applying some pressure up high. 3.5 minutes to go here in the opening quarter of play. A 3-0 Memphis Americans lead. Martin with a near steal. Right side off boards. Threw off to the right side.
It's good patient play, waiting for Molly Martin to get open. Hit her on the diagonal.
Trying to get it back over to Martin. Now Martin has it. At top, shot inside. That's deflected off Maddie Capel out of Catawba College.
Is that in North Carolina?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say that automatically. I'll double check that.
I believe it is.
That was my assumption. And that time just overran it a little bit.
I think I broke broadcaster rule number 3. Don't ask a question that your partner does not already know the answer to. My bad.
Answer yes and keep going. Yeah. Anna Trotter slides it through. Here's Martin. Oh, a nice job that time by Walker getting out, cutting out the angle.
Yeah, that was a terrific save. Anna Trotter, though, still with keeping possession for Memphis, and then finally Fayetteville getting a little bit of a breather.
Ferry will work it up. It's going to be Revis. Revis drops it in, and now they've got an opportunity. Haley down on one leg gets the save. Quintanilla on the opportunity. Now she sends it high, volleys it above the netting.
I like the ambition of Fayetteville, but I also like the fact that Anna Trotter came in and shut down the rebound opportunity after the kick save by Angel Haley. So good team defense by Memphis, and Fayetteville pushing for their first goal here late in the first quarter.
Under 2 minutes to go. Again, a 3-0 Americans lead. Down to the right corner. They got Tadlock moving toward the middle. And couldn't get the positioning up high on the yellow line they wanted to. So Memphis has to drop it all the way back to Haley as Kerner will send it back to her. Through to Kerner again. Flips it out, Tadlock. Tadlock. Off glass header, and that's going to be bounced into the hands of Walker. Not a bad sequence, no result for Memphis, but not a bad setup.
Yeah, it was a nice read by Kristen Sparks off the glass to put the header at least on frame. Well done, good reaction.
Here you go with Sparks. Sparks looking for a little help. Smith. They'll rotate it out, they'll go across midfield looking for Tadlock. Under a minute remaining here in the opening quarter. And again, the Americans with a 3-0 advantage. Smith throws on the brakes.
Sometimes I think she's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. So as the season's gone on, I've come to really appreciate what Cheyenne Smith brings to the table.
Over right side now, Kerner. Kerner gets it across midfield, loses it. Now Fayetteville an opportunity with just over 20 seconds to go. It's going to be Revis. Revis runs right into Smith. Literally, Revis is down on the pitch. Smith plays on. And Revis finally back to her feet. Wasn't expecting the drag screen for a basketball term there at the yellow line, and that'll end the first quarter of play. What do you expect out of the Americans? They got their high percentage shot. Cheyenne Smith from long range was an impressive goal, but defense hanging a 0 out there in 3-0 through one quarter of play.
Yeah, and just like the men, the women have come out ready to play. They were in second gear as the match started.
We'll take a timeout through one quarter, 3-0 Americans. You're watching the NISL.
Now that's what I'm talking about. All right, what's up, you guys? Sydney here, back again as your MC for Game 2 as our Memphis Americans take on the Fayetteville Fury. Now, we have an exciting game in store for you tonight, but first, let's hear a little bit more from our sponsor, James Pest Management.
Got ants. choice in pest control, call James Pest Management, 367-2007.
All right, fans, check out the video board. Your Memphis Americans are having summer camps and pre-registrations open right now. Pull out your phones and scan the QR code on the screen or go to memphisamericans.com/camps to register.
Well, we get set for second quarter action here at the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi. It's first place Memphis with a 3-0 lead through one quarter of play. 3 goals. That's good, but Memphis, the defense, again, throwing up the 0. That's what you expect when you watch the women's division and you watch the Memphis Americans.
Yeah, they came out. They started right in sync. Good tempo. Got the goals. Got a lead. Fayetteville's putting up the effort. They've had some opportunities, but Memphis has played very good team defense, and we are all set to go for second quarter. We'll see what it holds. Fayetteville, if they could scratch a goal, could get right back into this very quickly.
Yeah, they're going to press up. Here's Memphis right off the bat, and that's just going to be deflected out of bounds.
Here's your GoPro restoration tip of the game. Leaving home for an extended period of time, turn off your water main so that you don't come home to a flooded house. Find us online or follow on social media for more weather safety tips. The main thing is to keep the main thing, Jeff.
Martin with the shot deflected off the corner. Now they'll get it back outside. This Cat delivers it down toward the corner. They're going to whistle away from the ball that time. That's going to give it back to Fayetteville. So we'll see them on offense for the first time in the second quarter. 8-1 shot advantage for the Americans through one quarter of play. Came away with 3 results. Fayetteville right side. Shot and just to the left of the post off the foot of Capel. And that was going to be tough for Haley either way. Fortunately, it goes wide, but Haley all of a sudden was looking up at a 2-on-1, 2-on-none at one point.
Good recovery by the Americans defense.
And you can speak to this, Tim. When you get trapped in that situation as a keeper, sometimes the best thing to do is just not guess left or right, stay in the middle, and make the offensive players make the decision.
Yeah, if you can make them make the first choice, then you have a much better chance of recovering. There's a good sliding challenge to clear the ball away. Fayetteville with a decent spell of possession, but again, name of the game is trying to get a goal back here, down 3.
Off right side. They work with it again. It'll be Gomez. Gomez to Rivas with the left foot. Gomez follows and puts it in the top of the net. Nice strike. Second goal of the year for Haley Gomez as Fayetteville is on the board.
Yeah, that was a well-struck ball, and as we take another look at it, Jeff, first ball is deflected. It was a good block, but then right on the spot there, the follow-through and a goal into the roof of the net. Tough. That's a tough one for Angel Haley. And just like that, Fayetteville is back into this game, now down just 2, early second quarter.
Now, that was an excellent goal because you talk about the angle. Haley had her arms up, did all she could do, but just found a little bit of a seam above the fingertips below the crossbar. Here's Sparks trying to gain position. She's got Crahan coming down into the middle. Here's the shot. Off the fingertips that time of Walker.
Yeah, and they're going to give that goal to Quintanilla, the captain.
Okay.
They're going to give that to her here early in the second quarter. Nonetheless, Fayetteville doesn't care who it is. They're glad to be on the board, and now Memphis with just a 2-goal advantage.
Smith, your second leading goal scorer, nearly got a deflection for her 7th to take the lead. You know, we talk about some of the stars of this team. Quietly, it's McGirt who's got the 7 goals this season. She just kind of goes about her business. Here is Smith making a move. Off glass, had Crahan up there. They'll gather it, keep it in the offensive third.
And if I were to liken her to someone on the men's team, it would be Corey Adamson, because she just the quick fire of the left foot. And then just to be able to read the game.
Smith, her second goal of the game. She's now tied for the team lead with 7 goals, and it's 4-1 Americans.
She has gotten hot right before playoff time, and tell you, she couldn't have picked a better time to really find some stride for Memphis.
Off the crossbar, the upper 90 got to the back of Walker, couldn't control it, and her second goal of the night. Very quietly, you look at what Cheyenne Smith's done this year. Again, now 7 goals, 4 assists. She can direct traffic from defense. They can push her forward. I'm not sure who's going to do the complete voting, but she's going to start making a pretty strong case potentially for most valuable player this year.
And I'll tell you why she's become a fan favorite too is, listen, there's a lot of players. You can pretty much pick any player to be your favorite on this Memphis Americans team. They're very well-rounded. There's no doubt about that. But Cheyenne Smith has been really a great, and I don't want to say stopgap because I don't think that gives her enough respect, but missing Kelsey Keown, you've had to have somebody step up, and she's done just that.
Martin on the right side stops, looks with the left foot, crosses over to Tadlock. Got the deflection, but not where she wanted it. That vaulted into the stands.
Look out, Lynn, the real deal, Neal.
Well, to his credit, RPA, now he stood up looking for it. He didn't go diving under the table.
So. No, he's a man's man. He's not afraid. So it'll be a restart at the top of the arc for Alexis Catt. You got Cheyenne Smith. You got Molly Martin. Also, Kristen Sparks out there.
Off the left side, the follow is good, and Memphis leads it by a score of 5-0. So now Memphis, Tim, expanding the lead. It's kind of what the men did earlier in the game. They got the early 3-0 lead and then just continued to expand it. And, hey, there's nothing better than the American score followed by the national anthem.
I don't know.
Hey, man, they walk the walk. They just don't talk the talk.
Yeah, now we got a timeout by Fayetteville, but yeah, Memphis, great response after conceding the goal, and I wasn't sure whether we were to stop or to just continue on, but we're doing good though, and we'll take a quick break here. We'll just keep it here. We might as well keep it here because this is a quick timeout. But Memphis, the reaction that you want after giving up the goal, they pop 2 quick ones back. And expand the lead now to 4.
Well, for the Americans, Tim, you got 4 different goal scorers in the 5 goals. Smith with the 2 goals, a goal for Kerner, Adina Drawn, Tadlock, each have a goal as well. And these have, you chip in Molly Martin, too, a pair of assists as well. And that's a player sometime we don't maybe talk enough about, too, is Molly Martin, what she does, kind of direct traffic, racking up the assists, getting the teammates involved, always kind of in the center of things.
Well, that's the difficult thing about broadcasting a game for the women's team is that you have so much talent that contributes in so many different ways. You feel like you're leaving somebody out. Would like to apologize to our
maybe like to leave that out.
But I guess if you got it, you work it.
Yeah, hey man, you got to work with
Yeah,
what you
man.
got.
Take what your mama gave you.
Yeah. So a 5-1 Americans lead with 9:27 to go. These two teams, again, they're going to square off tomorrow night. 7 o'clock, they'll get the doubleheader started up for the Americans and the Fury. And then for these clubs, and again, we talked about as far as turnover from year 1 to year 2 in the NISL. Of course, you have the two expansion teams in Central Florida and Tampa, but Columbus, Fayetteville, Memphis. Memphis has been the team that's been able to do the best job of keeping the core roster intact. And you always talk about playoff time. That's where experience really helps out. I mean, not that the Central Florida and Tampa don't have experience, but they weren't together last year, and the American men and women were in a playoff scenario together last season.
Terrific point, Jeff, because it is keeping a team together because odds are you're going to go on the road. If you're going to win the championship, you're going to have to play on the road, and you only get to play with the hand that you're dealt, and not every player gets to make every road trip. So you want the depth, you want the experience, and Memphis has that. They look like they're rolling on all cylinders here.
11-2 shot advantage for the Americans. They lead at 5-1 as we're back underway. That's going to be Trotter along the back line.
It's a great diagonal ball by Elizabeth Vega.
On the boards, that's going to be Kerner. Sends it back. Here's Trotter. Trotter feeds it off to the right side. They're going to look down low, looking to Sparks. Sparks in the corner. Couple in the middle, including Vega was waiting. Then Kerner's coming up high, banks it off the glass, and out of the line will be Samantha Walker, comes out high in the box to pick it up.
It's a clever ball by Kristen Sparks. Just didn't get quite the right angle on it, but you could see what she was trying to do there. She's trying to find some help at the top of the box. Good faith in her teammates. Just didn't quite get the bounce that she wanted off that corner board.
Vega left it off to the right side. Crahan, now here's Martin. Crahan circles back inside the box. Then looking on the back door, you've got Vega. Martin tried to send it in. Crahan, a little late charge there, but picked up too quickly.
So just when Fayetteville thought that they were back in this game, Memphis not only matched them, but then expanded the lead. Got a lot of work to do here in the second quarter.
Martin has a little space. Doesn't have the numbers, but here comes some help. Oh, Martin trying to roll it through. They saw that one coming. It'll be picked off by Rivas. Nothing really developing that time for Ogiyoshi, who is, we talked about her playing in net and kind of being banged up. They brought her out in a defender position, it looks like.
Basically what we were hoping to see Peter Sleewood do last game. Yeah.
She is always tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. And we'll probably see Ogiyoshi tomorrow night in goal.
Here's Martin. Martin got a breakaway, makes one move to the left. Tried to work the boards herself, but Ogiyoshi kind of rode her off, getting that direct kick after it banked off the boards.
Yeah, once she put her off wide, she had a much better chance to make the stop, and she did. And good read off of the inboard.
Crahan looks like it's Rivas who she's tied up with. Now stepping up is Trotter. Nearly creates a possession for Memphis. Be a couple high hops here to Haley. What we got to do here is make sure it doesn't bounce over your head. Maybe a three-line pass.
And now one of the referees gets a full disagulation in an exchange. She gets to take a breather with a yellow card.
And so Memphis is going to have a power play.
It's going to be on Grace Herbert.
Well, she must have got a major because they're going 5-on-5, so it must be major in there. She's not serving a 2-minute minor. Near side of the post, deflected. Fayetteville, will they clear or will they try to get a counter? Looks like they may try to get a counter. Doesn't develop, and Memphis is able to send it in the stands. So that'll give Fayetteville possession here. Rivas had it taken away, and again, it's going to be Cheyenne Smith now back into the game. Calmly to midfield. Unable to keep that possession. Now Fayetteville's going to turn. A little drop step there that time by Capel. And they're trying to get it to Martin. That one will get it put up into the top of the lower level here at the Lander Center.
That's a product of good pressure by Memphis, pushing 2 ahead to force the error by Fayetteville. It's good work up 4, continuing a high work rate. Nicely done.
And Martin going around the top, nothing going down low, and here comes Fayetteville. That's a mistake there that time by Grandos. Iris Grandos took her head off the ball. She's looking for a trailer. Instead of pushing forward, looked back and had the ball taken away. Far side, Tadlock. Into the middle. Turned over. Here's Martin. Martin leaves it right side. And this time they are going to possess, but Walker barely hung on by the fingertips.
Yeah, good read and reaction to locate the ball. That's one of those ones, it's a split second, but it can seem like an eternity for a goalkeeper when it's underneath you. And just to be able to cover it up, big break there because you had a couple of Americans players screaming in to finish the job, which is what you should do. You should finish every play, and they were absolutely doing that.
Cat going long. See if Memphis can grab this 50-50. And, of course, it's Cheyenne Smith who comes in, takes the initiative. Couple of goals already. The co-leader is 7 goals on the season for the Americans. This time it's going to get in easy on the one hop by Haley. Rolls it out to Trotter. Trotter leaning forward. Leaves it off to her left to Perkins. Turns, and that one is knocked down. So Jayla Perkins there with her first attempt of the game.
Good hustle by Anna Trotter to get back and into the point position to provide some relief for the drop.
Elga Yoshi. And the 2 regular keepers, Elga Yoshi playing a little defense. We kind of get tied up. One thing Elga Yoshi you'll have to remember, look, if you're a keeper, so we talked about if Sliwa was to play something, you get back there, that's the one time you cannot rely on your instincts to bend over and pick the ball up. You've got to remember, you're not wearing the off-colored top. You are a player up front.
Jeff, let me assure you, as a below-average, mediocre rec league goalkeeper for decades, I can tell you that's the last thing the goalkeepers out in the field. They just want to score goals and show the rest of the team that they are every bit as good, which we never are. But
ball wrapped around looking. They were hoping for a deflection.
No, picking up the ball is the last thing. We want a goal celebration.
Send it out to Trotter. Trotter takes another big collision as that one's off to the near side. Martin comes through. Now Memphis has a chance here. Shot to score from the right side, and it's Bailey Tadlock.
Pushes through the challenge and then just goes near post under the keeper's hands.
Well, it's hard to see what's more impressive, the fact that Haley Gomez knocked her off the ball, or Tadlock, then recovered and then threaded the needle, as you said, on the near post. Didn't have a lot of room on that shot. A lot of velocity, though.
There's Elizabeth Vega.
As Martin, she won it from long range. She's going to try for it and just high. Crayon trying to race it down, and there's Cheyenne Smith to break up the counterattack.
That's 26 combined goals for the Americans today, and we're not even into the end of the first half. Oh, that's a great ball to release Cheyenne Smith.
Smith looking for the hat trick. Very similar to Georgievich. She gets a lot of velocity from yellow line and back. She can wind up, and we've seen her score twice from distance today. Crahan Crahan winds, looks for Martin a little bit behind. Settles it down. Vega rolls it right into the hands of Walker.
That was a filthy layoff. Yeah. That was terrific from Molly Martin.
Across the field, they'll find Capel. They got an opportunity. They can dump it to Rivas, and broken up by Cheyenne Smith. Under a minute to go. Gathered at midfield by Haley Gomez. Now Gomez. That'll be off of Martin. Off the boards. Crahan try to get some positioning there. Rivas right side with 39 seconds to go. Smith cuts in front. And nearly an unfortunate bounce off of Crahan. Fortunately, Haley there and very aware. Here comes Martin. They're going to try to track her down. They'll tug on the jersey, and there's the late whistle. You can see the jersey get pulled from behind. They're trying to track her down.
So we've got a penalty.
Where will the infraction happen? Just outside the box.
So Herbert is out after serving her yellow card penalty. Now we've got, I believe this is going to be number 3. Jessica Jones will be in for 2 minutes. And what we're going to have here is essentially Molly Martin starting at the yellow line in a shootout fashion. Everybody else starts at midfield. And once the whistle's blown and the ball's touched, everybody comes barreling in.
Join the party.
And I think they're now kind of having a discussion on either what just happened or what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? You just stand over here to the side, and I'll just take this shot.
All right, Martin's ready to go. Everyone else is at midfield. Walker's ready to go. I'm just waiting on the whistle.
And unlike hockey, this will not be a serpentine run-up.
She zigs and zags back.
Yeah.
And there's no wraparound. Can't go behind the goal.
All right, make the call. High, low, left, or right. Where's she going?
High to the left. High to the right.
Well, it's the goalie's left, though, to be fair.
Thank you. Here is the ball wrapped around the boards, and it's still loose, uncontrolled, and Martin nearly able to get it off the back of the hill. And that's going to make it a 6-1 lead at the half as time is going to run out. Well, the Memphis Americans, Tim, put 6 goals up in the first half. Corey Adams is going to be happy to see his offense moving today and scoring, and always pleased with the defense, giving up just the 1 goal in the first half.
Yeah, in fact, Memphis 10 shots in the second period, 2-period total of 18. Fayetteville with just 3 shots, but they did pick up a goal in the first half. So Memphis heads into the dressing room, as you mentioned. They got to be happy. There'll be things to work on as they try to put the wraps on this homestand today and tomorrow.
2.5 of play here in Memphis. Memphis Americans, they lead Fayetteville 6-1. We'll be back for the second half as you watch the NISL.
Fans, please put your hands together and welcome to the field back again the Magnolia Heights men's soccer team for a halftime scrimmage. fans, cheer them on. Goal! The score is 1-0. Hey, how are you doing? 1 minute remaining.
Welcome back to the Landers Center in South Haven, Mississippi. The Memphis Americans with a 6-1 lead over the Fayetteville Fury as part of a back-to-back. These two teams square off tomorrow night in the doubleheader. The men were winners 20-2 earlier today, and again a 6-1 advantage for the Memphis Americans women here in the second game of the doubleheader. Tim, they've done a nice job of possession, dominating right now at 18-3 advantage on shots on goal.
Yeah, they have, and they've been quality shots. And for Fayetteville, they've had a couple of opportunities. They did scratch the one goal out, but they just haven't had enough going forward at this point. And Memphis has had some different defensive combinations that have looked very comfortable back there. And that's good for Corey Adamson because heading into the playoffs, again, if you're traveling and you don't have your full roster, then you've got to be able to have players that can play more than one position, and many of the women on this Americans team can do just that. And they're getting some more work on that as we get underway now for the second half action from the Landers Center.
Well, it's been a 1-2 punch. Cheyenne Smith and Bailey Tadlock, 2 goals apiece. They're both the co-leaders now with 7 goals each on this season as we have just one regular season game remaining. That got behind Haley, and they're going to follow it up. Thought she may get away with that one. It got to her right off glass, and then Fayetteville follows up from the right side.
A shorthanded goal at that, too, Jeff, as the follow-through on the back post left open. Maddie Capel able to finish and scratch one here in the opening minute. Again, a shorthanded goal, something you don't see very often happen to the Memphis Americans. But good pressure by Fayetteville. Give them credit for coming out ready to go. Let's see how Memphis responds.
Yeah, Fayetteville's going to try to get into this thing. That's one way to do it. First 30 seconds, they get on the board. Now got to try to kill off this power play. It'd feel really good if they can get a shorty like they just did and then kill off the power play. Nice shot by Cheyenne Smith. And again, we talked about it's a little bit like Georgievich for the men's team. She can shoot at distance with a lot of velocity, and she didn't have a lot of room to really square up, still put a lot on that shot.
Memphis now getting into their offense. I think there was a zig when there was going to be a zag.
Power play about over as Jones about ready to come back in. That's going to fall, and Martin will head it back to Cat. Cat settles it down in midfield. Swings it along to Smith again. Smith will slam on the brakes, lets everyone get set up. Full strength now. Power play's over. Jones is back on the field. Smith rockets one up, and sends some fans diving about 4 rows high of the entrance behind the goal.
Yeah, she let fly on that one from distance, and as you mentioned earlier, that's something she can do and do very well. And then these same two teams tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, will be first kick for the men and the women at Landers Center.
Women, if our math are right today, could lock up that 1 seed. The men have, I believe, locked up the 2 seed. In fact, they're on to the semifinals. So they have knocked it off as they have already posted that. So another successful regular season for the Americans. They brought 1 trophy and a runner-up finish a year ago. The women winning the league, the men runner-up, and they'll try to bring home 2 trophies this season. The women going to be that 1 seed if things hold up here this weekend. Men will be the 2 seed. So they're going to be in the same position as a year ago, and we'll see if they can bring home another trophy or 2.
Yeah, fill up the trophy cabinet here at Landers Center. It's been a minute. I guess the River Kings.
Yeah. About time to start hanging some banners back at the Landers Center.
Got that right. Who's our Don Parsons? I guess George and could be a number of players.
Picked up by Haley.
Yeah, she said, nope, you're not going to get this one, my friend. Nicely done.
Go really old school. It's going to be the Andy Ross.
Oh,
back to the Coliseum days. Oh. Antoine Manjimba. Don't get me started naming players from 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, a little clear that time by Trotter, who does it splits to get that one out.
Halfway to John Batten.
Yes, absolutely. Off to the right side, a 6-2 lead, and that takes the hop back in play. Here's Martin. And did all she could there on the angle. It just really wasn't an angle for her to kind of flick it over to the left side.
Yeah, that turf bounce just wouldn't give her a break. Yeah, she pretty much maxed out on what she could have done with that. That was good hustle, though. Good awareness to go ahead and play the ball as Michael Carson.
Well, they're finally going to get the whistle. They held Martin about 6 feet back, and finally get that second hold. You might get away with it at initial, but held a couple times as Trotter's back on the pitch. Sends it over to Vega. They'll move everything back now. Kerner back over across the left side to Trotter. Into Perkins. Tell you what, with some of the kicks we've seen go into the stands, you got to be heads up out there.
Yep. Keep your nachos.
Lynn Neal might want to remind him.
Yeah. Keep your nachos low.
Yeah.
Your head up.
We've had a couple of people come dangerously close to the face sandwich that they don't serve at the concession stand. Here we go, Cat. Cat just past the wall. It'll be gathered. Too soft of a kick, turned over, and now Fayetteville counter opportunity. Nifty move over there. I believe that's Rivas again. Oh, and a great job coming back defensively.
Is that Smith?
Yep. Smith everywhere. Pushes up, scores goal, got back, broke up that counter. And they'll work it back off to Walker. Walker will try to get some shape back, get a little bit of spacing. We'll go long. Smith heads it back over to the boards. So now Memphis works it through the middle. They'll just dump it in, looking for Martin. And that'll bounce all the way to Samantha Walker. So Memphis will get a line change here. They'll be able to clear it out along the back line. Well, they did in midfield. They're really not going to do much of them. They will get Cat in, so now you've got two pretty good players back there in Cat and Smith. Cat, a lot of experience. Smith, who's really stepped up, goal scoring, and really making a name for herself around the league. So you're anchoring that back line again. It's given up just, 35 goals now on the season.
Yeah, and compared to earlier, we're seeing a little bit of a mix-up on that line, a little change-up because we saw Alexis Cat with Anna Trotter
right
a little bit earlier.
And you know, to use a basketball term, Corey Adamson maybe stacking those back lines to try to score on defense. Let your back line score in transition. Let the back line control things and push up. Nice feed. Cat had to go off the right side of her foot.
Tough break for Alexis Cat because that was a great ball in from Kristen Sparks.
Vega now Smith. Smith at midfield. Back to Cat left wing. Trying to move it over to Perkins. Loose ball. That one just sent high to midfield. And Smith will win the ball. Smith on the boards, right side. Rivas has the takeaway. Takes the long shot. No one ahead. Took the chance on that one. Misses wide to the right of Haley.
You know, one thing you see about this Memphis Americans women's team, what they all do very well is when giving away possession, the response, the reaction to go and chase the ball down again is very good. There's no time for sorrows. They get into transition to defense very quickly, and that's why they've given up so few goals that even when they don't have the ball, that hustle factor is always there.
Well, Sparks will force him to send that one all the way back to Walker again. He's not going to let him get comfortable at all. Herbert now on the left side. Rivas on the boards. Throws it across the field. They'll try to rotate down low. And now here is Sparks. Sparks will get off to Perkins. Perkins far board. Now have a chance at a breakaway, but Memphis collapses defensively. Nice job that time by Kerner to get back through traffic, the one-timer, and that one's just punched up. And talking about punching, Haley punches the ball away, goes down hard on that right shoulder, it looks like, or right knee. She's coming up a little slow. They may give her a second here. Ball went out of bounds. You look like knee hit first when she went down on that 50-50 ball.
Yeah, and that's good awareness by Angel Haley because she was definitely well within the box to go all out for that punch.
Through the wall, and there's Cheyenne Smith there. Helps her keep her out. Crahan on defense. Back out Walker. Walker's going to go long. Looking for a deflection. Doesn't develop that time for Fayetteville. Well, they're calling for the handball. Not going to get it, though. Yeah, they may have had a case against Kerner. Smith again. never allows it to get even close to Haley. Right side, they'll just get the clearance now as Martin trying to track things down. Oh, a big check that time, and that'll get a little reaction out of the crowd as Crahan got into the side of her.
Be interesting to see if there's a replay. Was that knee on knee? I mean, she went in quickly and to go take the ball. I mean, she wasn't trying to take the opponent out. Well, we can't see from that angle. It's just too close to the wall, but.
Got a nice ooh from the crowd, though. Yeah. Went on the dasher boards that time. And look, it's a contact league, the indoor league with the boards. Just over 5 minutes to go here in the third. Americans up 6-2. Tadlock.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is for sure a contact sport, and it does not matter what size you are. There is an expectation that you contribute statistically and physically on the field. And again, that's part of the culture that Corey Adamson with the Memphis Americans has instilled in this women's team, and of course, with as well as the men's team, they both do a really good job of contributing and putting their bodies on the line.
Trotter tripped up, looked like she had a lane, but here comes Trotter back. Now Trotter mixing it up over there on the boards.
Rivas attempted the arm bar, but Anna Trotter fought through it, and credit to her. Good job. And here's another look at it. Look at the close down. Again, when the Americans lose possession of the ball, they do a terrific job. And you can see once the arm is wrapped, Trotter had no chance. And now Rivas again with another foul. And surely she's going to go into the book at this point, and she does.
Yeah, it takes Cat off of her feet. A little bit of a hip check out in the midfield area. Gives Memphis a chance to get a switch. Trotter and Tadlock off the field. Smith's back on. Here's a chance power play. You got Smith. If you can bunch that defense down, just like hockey, that's the person you're going to have to take the quote-unquote slap shot from the yellow line.
We'll see if Alexis Cat can make them pay here on the power play. And part of that ability of Memphis to close things down is their ability to is not just the reaction, but that comes, I think, from habit. You play how you practice. And I've some of these practices that the Americans have, I mean, they get pretty intense where they commingle the men and the women.
Shot again from the outside. Smith lines up another one. This time she rolls it through off the heel of Martin, and Cat. It's just going to be a little bit to the near side of the post.
Are you kidding me, Molly Martin? How about that one-time pass?
Something forward Cat trying to keep her balance. She does. Fayetteville's going to get the clear. Now Fayetteville has a chance. Briefly. Martin stepped in front of her. They will have an opportunity, and that just skipped on Haley for the shorthanded goal.
She get 5-hold there?
Yeah. Here's from up here. Let's take a look at the replay.
And the Memphis defense, they were filling the lanes. This is a very low percentage shot. And, yeah, she just didn't get down for that and got through the hands.
She's more surprised it made it through. I mean, look, that's like you said, defense had it marked how you should. Just give credit. Nice goal, nice strike.
Yeah, and there's nobody that is more upset about that goal in the building than Angel Haley, because she's made that save 999 other times. It just happens. And hopefully she will shake that off quickly, because she is absolutely one of the best in the league. But now we've got a 3-goal game now, Jeff, late third quarter.
Trotter left side. Trotter finds Tadlock. Tadlock winds up just high. May have caught the fingertips of Walker. It's a pretty feed that time by Trotter, though. As Trotter continues, the more games she gets under her belt, this team better and better she gets. And there's Cheyenne Smith with the hat trick. She is taking over the NISL.
I saw there was a deflection. Let's take another look at this, Jeff, because this adds some velocity on it.
I think that may have just been off the hand of Walker.
Yeah, I mean, Cheyenne Smith, nonetheless, that ball was going in. You could have stuck somebody else in front of it, but there she is signing another ball. And I got to tell you, they're doing that today after goals scored. And I tell you what, if she signs anymore, she'll have probably bought a house with as many signatures she's put down today.
27 goals today. I hope they bought enough of them.
Yeah.
Make the reorder before tomorrow night. 7-3, and that's a goal, let's face it, Jim, that the Americans had needed. They got out to the early lead. It looked like things were in hand, and Fayetteville made a push. They made it a 3-goal game. Memphis needed something to kind of get some momentum back on their side.
Yeah, and then here in the last moment or so, good reaction by Memphis after conceding the goal, good response. And you saw Anna Trotter there with the steal to get Memphis back on the counterattack. And now we've got a player down on the near side. I can't tell if that's Cheyenne Smith or not. But we have a player. It might be Elizabeth Vega.
Yeah, it is. It's Vega. And
Okay.
then the goal did go to Cheyenne Smith Tadlock with the assist on that last goal.
I didn't see what happened, but I know once she went down, she was pounding the turf with her fist. Here's another look. Was it an ankle?
Knee just went straight down to the ground,
Okay.
yeah. It's a little bit similar to Haley. Just a little bit more forceful. Yeah, she went knee first. They're going to check on her. We're going to step aside here for just a minute. Right now, 53 seconds remaining in the third. The Memphis Americans lead it 7-3 as you watch the NISL. Well, they're going to help Vega off the field. You just saw that replay there, Tim, the collision there, and just when she went down, it was knee first with pretty hard into that turf, the old school AstroTurf, as we know, pretty unforgiving at times.
Yeah, it is. It is. And for Memphis, hopefully it's just a knock, a stinger, and then she can come back later today or at least for tomorrow night. She's been an integral part of this Memphis Americans team, very versatile, and Trotter knocked down, but she wins the ball as she usually does. That'll be a restart for Fayetteville.
So here's Rivas. We call her it's Quintanilla, excuse me. Got it back to Rivas, but Rivas has been very active. We called her name a lot. She's gotten some shots. She's played physical. She's had to serve a penalty. That one to Haley, who gets up, and Haley showing no effects of coming down on her knee earlier in the quarter.
No. Good ups by Angel Haley.
Through to Crahan. Crahan nearly got the top spin. Trying to plant that one on the green and get it to curve over the keeper's hands. Meanwhile, back on the opposite end, time will run out as Smith got tied up there to end the quarter. Well, the Fury still in it. It's a 4-goal game. Anything can happen here in the fourth. That goal they had was big, even though Memphis answered.
Yeah, Memphis answered, but the bottom line is, much like the men's team, Fayetteville Fury women, they are battling. So fourth quarter, 4-goal game. If they scratch out something early, it could make this for a very interesting final stanza. We'll have that coming up in just a moment in the NISL.
And I am here with Cookie, and we are going to put her America's knowledge to the test with some Memphis Americans trivia. Now, Cookie, if you answer correctly, you are going home with a free item from our merchandise stand and an official Americans rally towel. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here is your question. How old is Memphis Americans goalkeeper Peter Sliwa? Is it A, 28, B, 42, C, 32, or D, 37?
D, 37.
She's going with D, 37. Let's see if that's correct. Oh, I am so sorry, Cookie. But you know what, fans? I think I heard Cookie say A28. So you know what? You are still going home with that free merchandise and an official Americans Rally towel. Fans, give it up for Cookie.
Fourth quarter coming up here at the Lander Center, and in a game that looked like Memphis, got up early and could potentially run away with in the first half. All of a sudden, 4-goal game. That's still somewhat of a comfortable lead with 15 minutes to go, but definitely not one you can sit back on your heels and relax, Tim. As we talked about, like they did to start the second half, they come out, get an early goal in the first 60 to 90 seconds. It's going to be pretty fun the last 14 or so minutes.
Yeah, and they did a good job of slowing Memphis down just a little bit, but 4 shots on goal apiece in the third quarter. But again, if you look at the big picture, you also see Memphis doing some rotation of personnel too, so that could play into it as well, and it's something that could be sacrificed now.
Big contact there as they take down Odino Drawn. She's able to recover, and it'll be sent back over to Haley. Memphis up in the midfield just can't control it there and get the ball settled. And it's going to be Smith steps in front. Smith trying to find some room to the left side. She can catch up with it. It's going to be a 50-50 race. And put down by Herbert. Nice little battle there that time by Elizabeth Vega, who's back in, and diving is going to be Walker to her right.
Good hustle by Perkins, who made that happen, and Kristen Sparks. As Memphis tries to get on the front foot here early in the fourth quarter. Got an incident, just an incidental handball by Alexis Catt.
So just over a minute in, we've heard them say that's the 4th foul now, so they're still plenty away from having to serve the 8-foul penalty. Well, right now, plenty of time for Fayetteville if they can get high percentage shots. However, this game gets under 10 minutes, which isn't that far away. Time kind of becomes that 6th defender out there for you. And all of a sudden in the back of your mind, you're sitting over there on the Fayetteville bench and you're thinking, man, the clock's really going fast now.
Yeah, and at that point, you've got an Americans team who's very well rehearsed on positioning and spacing, and when possession becomes critical, they know what they're doing. That's for sure. You see a nice switch there to the near side.
Perkins sends it out right wing now. They'll have Sparks in the corner. Sparks waits, leaves it, but a little too soft of a pass that time. Smith, meanwhile, she's going to let the ball come to herself. She's got Cat behind her if she wants to get the spacing. She's going to draw the double team. That says, I'll just dribble out of the trouble myself, take the shot, get the deflection, and almost get the goal. What a play.
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah, just spins out of a double team, takes the shot, nearly scores even off the deflection.
Through traffic, move back in towards Sparks.
I mean, it really is a fun team to watch. Just every player brings something to the table, and it's expected, and that's part of the culture.
One thing what you mentioned earlier about the physical play that Memphis does have, they can finesse you. They will play physical at all times. You see right here as Crahan got onto the back of Rivas. This is something Corey Adamson told us early last year in the preseason before they ever played a match that, look, I'm going to have my women's team go head-to-head with the men's team in practice and tell the guys don't hold back. We're trying to condition both of these teams. Got a little bit more finesse on one side, a little more physicality on the other side. And so wanted to condition them to be the toughest team in the league, and he's had it the last 2 years.
Yeah, he has, absolutely. Rivas, we're in a bit of an official's delay here because Rivas they took a bit of a tumble here. Hopefully she'll be able to continue. She's been physical out there. She's been in the sin bin a little bit earlier today, but she's definitely put in her part for Fayetteville today.
When she got locked up with Crahan, I think Crahan inadvertently, when she's trying to get away and kind of get out of the pile there, kneed her in the side of the head. I think it was totally incidental, wasn't malicious or anything, just trying to get up off the turf.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's not the nature of this club, but also when you're up 4 goals, the last thing you want to do is start putting people in the penalty box and creating opportunities, and I know that neither was the case for Memphis.
Long ball into the corner. I mean, that's Trotter that came out of nowhere, made up some ground to stop possession that time by Fayetteville.
So a chance here with a restart at the top of the arc for Fayetteville.
Herbert will take the kick. Goes on net and meets the wall. A little fake that time. They'll just work it back to the keeper. And that's Martin applying some pressure, not letting them get comfortable. Yeah, I mean, Walker was just going to come up, kind of look over things, and all of a sudden Martin was right on top of her. Here comes Memphis. Tadlock had it broken up. Off boards to Tadlock. Now they've got Martin on the backside. They'll find her. Martin makes one move to her right. Kind of got pushed off center. Rolls it through, and that one's going to roll right up to Walker. Not a bad sequence, no result, but not a bad possession.
No, but what they did do is kill off another 30 seconds, and time is a very valuable commodity for Fayetteville. And there's I'd say an unforced error, but actually good pressure there by Molly Martin forcing the kick out. And since that came out of the defensive zone, that'll be a restart at the top of the arc. And again, Fayetteville, for the umpteenth time, tries to build the wall at the arc.
Well, you got Cat taking the kick, and there is Smith off to the right. That's where she's going to go. Rockets won, and that time Herbert took the brunt of that one. Smith good enough to come back, take another shot off to the right side. Settled in, shot, and a great save. And that will be covered up by Samantha Walker, able to maintain control over that one.
Yeah, good hustle play by Kristen Sparks, ready to pounce on the rebound if it happened, but good soft hands by the Fayetteville keeper, Samantha Walker, to keep that one at bay.
Cat off boards, finds Sparks. They've got Martin ahead. Smith now works along the back line. Settled in through traffic. Martin, looked like Martin wanted to heel it back maybe to Cat, who pushed forward.
Good response by Molly Martin after loss of possession, gets it right back, but then Fayetteville with the hustle play.
Cable got the
right
takeaway.
back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nifty off the back of the foot, no one home. Now Fayetteville trying to make something out of this. Well, lined up, and that went off a Dino drawn. So here is Herbert. She'll take the kick from the right side. See, they'll get a three-person wall here. Get Cat down there right in front of Haley.
Perkins.
Ooh, off the wall and wrapped around the boards. Fayetteville keeps it in. Cleared, looking for a Martin. Will step in again. Gomez will drop it back off to the keeper, Walker. Martin giving a little pressure again. They'll go long. A little bit of slip. Nice job by Haley. That's a lot more difficult than it looked like. That took the high bounce. And unfortunately for Memphis, I'm sure Corey Adamson breathing a sigh of relief. Cheyenne Smith went down a little funny, but she's up and okay.
Yeah, it looked like she was limping, but then once she was needed, she bounced into action. Didn't think about that, just got after it. Good work by Angel Haley to cover that one up.
Long throw. Return header that time by Herbert. Jones over there for Fayetteville. Now they'll get tied up. Rotor off the ball. Well, they're still playing with Martin pretty high, so Memphis almost kind of shorthanded. Kind of the set they're playing four back. They're leaving Martin around midfield. Fortunately, though, for Memphis, not so much a odd situation. They don't have Maddie Cable having to keep an eye on Martin. It's kind of taking on the play, more of a 4-on-4 game up high.
Yeah, it's like, well, they negate each other, but really that's an advantage for Memphis because it gives you a very mobile target person where she can come back to the ball when needed. I mean, there's no question she puts in the mileage during the match, but that strategy, and then all of a sudden you start floating back too, and that changes things as well. So good tactical.
Shot wide to the right. Here's the follow. That's pooched into the retaining area behind the net.
Had some backspin on it.
Yeah.
That'd have been nice on the 18th green.
Right. So Haley's going to get the opportunity to get the kick, but she'll just roll it out to her left to Trotter. Little no look over to Crahan. Crahan punches through. Crahan now the trail. Had Sparks. Crahan leaves it right side. Making up the ground. Cuts back to the left. One-timer Crahan, a little early on that one, hooked it to the left. Crayon had it set up right, maybe got a little anxious just ahead of the ball a little bit and hooked it.
Yeah, and on the play leading up to that, she had made a great entry pass down to the right side to set everything up. So, again, good hustle, and that'll be a foul on Memphis. Bailey Tadlock be charged with that.
Well, she got tied up with Cable. I thought they were going to call it on Cable, but see what Tadlock wrapped that arm. It's a good call, and threw her down. So that's good. If there was any doubt, the throwdown, the takedown's going to get the whistle. Just over Kat's head, they lose sight of it, so Kat says, I'll just take it myself.
Yeah.
Now on the near side, that's going to be Jayla Perkins. Gets it ahead to Martin. Martin leads it for the trail. That's Trotter. Trotter goes into the corner, puts it in, and Trotter nearly had her second goal of the season.
Ooh.
Danced on the line.
I didn't think she had the angle well. She darn nearly did. I think that's poor grammar, but sorry, my English teacher's probably not listening. Screw it.
Trotter again. Left side, one-timer. A little soft touch on the toe and cleared by Fayetteville. Oh, and you got under 5 minutes to go now. Still have the 4-goal lead. Here's where the clock starts looking like it's going double time if you're Fayetteville. Meanwhile, if you're Corey Adamson, you're thinking, what's wrong with the clock? It's not going quick enough. Martin in midfield. Perkins to her left. She'll swing it over to Jayla. Here is, and this is who you want in the game now. Just over 4 minutes. Cheyenne Smith can kind of control the pace, dictate, do they want to push forward, bring it back. Physical enough not to have the ball just stripped away from her. You see right here, just dribbles over to Martin, finds her wide open, leaves it just a little bit high. Under 4 minutes to go, still a 7-3 lead for the Americans.
Oh, unfortunate bounce. That's going to be out for a Memphis kick in. Again, these two teams going at it tomorrow night. First kick will be at 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets at memphisamericans.com, memphisamericans.com. Checking in on all the other action as well at nislpro.com.
26-9 shot advantage for Memphis here with 3:30 remaining. Cat steps up. Cat's going to force it. Cat got around to Capel. Cat coming up again. Just couldn't finish it off. Now Smith gets back. This ought to be a fun one-on-one matchup as Cat will take it. And good sportsmanship after that.
How you like this back line with Alexis Cat and Cheyenne Smith? I would be more than happy to have those two playing in front of me.
And that may be what they do once they go to the playoffs. They'll kind of reconfigure things and stack things. You've got Sparks ahead. Sparks never saw it coming. That's going to be Yoshi who took it, who could be in net tomorrow night. With the left foot looking through traffic to Sparks. Came off a Tadlock's foot. Sparks. And that rattles around, but is controlled by Walker with 2:23. So they're just going to step on it, wait to get the line change. They'll keep Tadlock in as well to the left. Martin right in the center of everything. Smith back to Tadlock. Oh, excuse me, Martin. Tadlock's on the left side. Martin fires, and it's knocked down. Well, that worked out well. You had Smith, you had Tadlock dropping down. Kind of created some space for Martin right in the middle.
She had her own little mini game going in amongst the game. Yeah, that was terrific work.
Smith with a minute 45. Gets tied up just a little bit, but just a physical player, physical enough to put her arm out and create her own spacing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to go out to the top of the arc as that one is blasted out by the Fayetteville keeper. Now the question is, can Memphis scratch out one more here in the dying seconds of this match?
Cat sets up with the left foot, and that's Martin trying to follow up the shot from Smith. Smith gets it again in the corner. Oh, and Smith got tripped up from behind. There'll be no whistle. And here comes Fayetteville. They got a 2-on-2. Cat trying to cut down the angle. And, oh, Cat just ran over the top of it. Haley says, look, I'm just going to come out top of the key and take it myself. That ball got away from everybody on both teams.
Yeah, it did.
Under a minute remaining. Oh, another one. Cheyenne Smith puts the exclamation point on it. When she had the keeper thinking right side, and it went back to the left, and Memphis capitalizes to make it 8-3. That's going to be a 4-goal afternoon for Cheyenne Smith.
You know, the best celebration is no celebration. She's been there, done that. She just walked. I was like, well, what'd you expect?
Catch you tomorrow.
It's just her world. We're just passing through as guests.
Here's Trotter. Trotter with 27 seconds to go. Nice dish over to Martin. Off the back foot. Down to 20 seconds remaining. Crahan. Crahan battles with Rivas. Near corner. 10 seconds to go. Martin banks it off the glass for herself. And that may be Trotter who slides in and gets credit for the goal. We're going to wait. That's going to be close, but Trotter on the backside slides. We'll see if she got the touch for it, got across the goal line. I think it got the post.
Yeah,
Great effort.
Yeah, I don't think Trotter got a piece of it. Nonetheless, love the fact that she's there on the back post to tap in if need be. We'll see what they score officially on this. Nonetheless, it's going to be 9-3 Memphis Americans closing this out.
So a sweep today for the Americans, 20-2 by the men, 9-3 by the women. Tim, very impressive on both sides.
Yeah, Memphis Americans showed a lot tonight, but also the Fayetteville Fury, given the fact that both of these teams lost in convincing fashion, neither team gave up, and neither of these matches turned nasty.
Yeah.
I have to give credit and respect to the Fayetteville Fury and also to the Memphis Americans. They came out, and it was a 60-minute soccer match. They played 60 minutes of soccer.
Well, the thing you want now, if you're the Americans, don't take it for granted today. You decide to play a sharp game tomorrow. Fayetteville will get a full 24 hours of recovery. They had some players come in late this morning, and I'm sure they will be looking to bounce back tomorrow night.
That's right. It's 7 o'clock tomorrow night, first kick. For tickets, go to memphisamericans.com, memphisamericans.com. So the men started off with a win, and the women finished with a flourish as well. 2 for 2. They'll try to do it again tomorrow night as they prepare for that playoff push.
For everyone involved behind the scenes here at the Lander Center, my broadcast partner, Tim Van Horn. I'm Jeff Brightwell. Thanks for joining us, and good evening. This is the NISL.